Hola, hola, hola. Estamos listos para las semifinales del evento First Strike de Europa. Se viene bueno. G2 Esports contra Team Heretics. Va a estar bueno, pero creo que G2 va a ganar, yo creo, porque no tiene mejor equipo. David P, Mixwell, Patite, puta, son buenos jugadores. De Team Heretics, la verdad que no conozco a nadie. Así que no tengo idea de cómo son. Sé que ayer le ganaron a Team Liquid, que era uno de los grandes favoritos. Nada, creo que G2 en Ascent, bueno, los mapas son Ascent, Beam y Split. Yo creo que en Ascent G2 tiene eh, no sé cómo decirlo, el punto a favor de que Mixwell se sabe, pero cada uno de los puntos estratégicos de ese juego de mapa, así que el español yo creo que va a ser la figura en esta partida. Bueno, esta es la primera semifinal. Después, la verdad es que estoy bien perdido de quiénes son los equipos que juegan aquí en Europa, pero eh, la segunda semifinal entre Zoom FC, algo así creo que es el equipo, y Fan Plus Phoenix. Son prácticamente un equipo tan novato, por decirlo de una forma así, porque no tiene una organización grande detrás que la esté financiando. Entonces, como que yo me junto con cuatro amigos y hagamos un equipo y estamos participando en un evento puta, grande, por decirlo así. Y nada, así que ojalá que les vaya bien. En cambio, FanPlus Phoenix, a pesar de que la marca es china, recordemos que FanPlus Phoenix es tiene un equipo de League of Legends, salieron campeones el año pasado y ahora se están expandiendo. Eh, y nada, pues esperar, veamos lo que va a pasar. Y ahora se viene ya la selección de campeones o de agentes del juego. Así que vamos a pasar a la semifinal entre Team Heretics y G2 Esports. Una mierda. Que elijan luego, ¿no? Así que, ¡chai! Los dejo con la transmisión en vivo, chicos. Nos vemos.
Like scripted, and we're at Riot Studios in Berlin, so it fits, you know, the narrative. But I cannot imagine G2 will just allow anyone to destroy their march for greatness. You know, it's like this is their final moment. This is where they go for the crown, right? They all won all the Ignition series, and this is the final moment when they need that final piece.
And, you know, speaking of the final piece, we have agent select here. Heretics were pretty quick on selecting their agents, and we're still waiting on G2. I saw a Reina hover for a second there. But any surprises, anything you want to talk about, Mitch?
So far in this tournament, you know, we saw yesterday Mixwell was playing Raze. He was doing very well on it. I think he's been on fire. Taking the Jet here, though, a lot of operator duels to take around middle. I'm not too surprised with him. Pith going in for the Cypher. Again, kind of expected. Killjoy can be dangerous. It can cost you games because Cypher just brings you much more value at times.
Yeah, it's no surprises so far. Mixwell plays Raze on Bind. On Ascent, he plays always with Jet. On Heretics side, I think this is exactly the same lineup we have seen so far on this map. Pora is known for playing Cypher on all other maps. All other maps, he's playing Cypher. On Ascent, he's playing Killjoy, and this is because there's just much more stopping power than what Cypher gives, while they have the Sova to get the informations about, you know, the movement. The Owl drone is just so important as well. So I'm not surprised he's picking actually Killjoy, and it also works well on attack when it comes to Killjoy more than Cypher. But now other two picks, Sage and Omen, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was no way it was going to be a Brimstone really with how things have been playing out. I think I didn't actually check this, but I'm pretty sure at an eye test he's been the least picked across all of First Strike. He's been neglected
Brim
massively.
was picked 2 times. by 2 players, sorry. Reyna was picked by 1 player, Phoenix was picked by 1 player. So Brimstone actually is not in a terrible spot. But
globally.
Oh yeah, globally. Okay.
Yeah, there's been very little love for Brimstone recently. I think I understand the reason they're talking about buffing him. I actually think this event is a great reason for maybe a reconsideration of buffing the Viper. I really love the position that Viper's in right now. I know there was talk that it was going to be Brimstone Viper next patch. I really hope that's not the case. Brimstone, sure, go ahead. I'd be interested to see how you balance him out to make him a bit more powerful. But
Viper's in a great spot.
She's perfect.
Yeah. Just one thing I would like to see is a better visualization of the ultimate before you actually use it. But that's it.
Yes, yeah, okay. But if we're going to consider that a buff, I would even consider that just like a UI implementation. Sure, yeah, that would be absolutely perfect. For me, though, looking at this series, I think G2 are going to be... It's going to be a real test for them on a sense. If they do well here, this series is done and dusted. If we see Heretics look a little bit flat, they have to perform, because obviously this is the map that they lost versus Liquid. That series was very nearly going the opposite way, and we know that Liquid are, historically have not been on the same level as G2. So I need to see that little step up here. I need to see a very, very close game, even if they lose it.
Well, we're excited here, but the exciting part is going to be on the caster desk. Pansy and Hypok, over to you and take us through this first map on Ascent.
Yeah, with absolute pleasure. This is going to be a cracker of a game, I feel. We do have Heretics being somewhat the Titan Slayers at this point. They've taken down Liquid, and now they're facing G2. Now, G2's a little bit of a different beast. I can't imagine a better play on words than the gods of G2 against the Heretics. I mean, I'm going to lean into it, don't worry. But let's talk about the game here. Let's talk about the map coming up. Let's talk about what our expectations are with these two teams facing off.
I mean, we saw some really, really good practices from Heretics, and that's the one thing I would say against G2. I mean, rarely do we see a team really go toe-to-toe with them in that sort of play style that G2 employ. But I actually think, particularly looking at Ascent, I kept talking about Heretics' setup on Ascent, in particular on defense, obviously with Lowell over in that A-short position, and the flex as well, the variation they had to that consistently kept Liquid guessing, and they weren't really able to break that. And defensively, I mean, Heretics have a very, very good structure to deal with that playstyle from G2.
I'm going to be honest, though. I've been watching a little bit of NA. I've been watching TSM turn up and run through it thus far. I want to see a bit of that from G2 here. Yeah. And that's no discredit to Heretics. I'd love an upset. Like, I live for this. Like, misery makes me happy. There's something to be said about my state if that's the case. But I want G2 to look like the G2 we saw at the very early days. They came in as just these absolute animals, tearing through teams, that confidence sky high. Yes, we know that they can fall now into maybe a slightly more thinking man's approach, but sometimes I want them to lean into what made them great and what still makes them great. And we're into this one. So it will be G2 to kick things off, looking likely to do some damage here, and Heretics going to have to try and deal with it. And look at this start.
Yeah. Again, no real surprises here to see G2 stacked up as 5. Looks like we're going to have a pretty fast A hit here. But you're right, Heretics stacked 3 over the side of the map. It could be an all-out brawl to start things off.
I couldn't imagine it any other way, and Mixwell the first to begin it. Avova's going to fall foul to it, and you're going to see Pora put to task. Might have to back away, try and stay alive, play for that retake at this point, because the site's going to be lost. Spike's yet to be down, a bit of damage done. And yeah, now Spike planted, still a lot standing for G2 in a decent enough post-plant.
You see here, Niso hesitant at first. Ardis does manage to tuck himself into hell. Actually, the Cyber Cage goes up. He's going to swing right out. Niso giving his life up in a 2-for-1 trade. Leaves Lowell the last man standing. And an easy cleanup there. Patstech with the 3K.
Yeah, nicely handled. Gonna have a little look around, make sure everything's all sorted, and it is. Nicely done by G2. I want to highlight what I like about that. Clean and simple. They didn't need to do anything fancy. It was your basics. You had your nice entry off the back of Mixwell. Love to have that on a Jet. I do like Mixwell on a Jet, if I'm honest. I still feel like that style with him really complements it.
Well, this is a big question early on, right? When there was so much emphasis on the operator. And actually, you know, recently we're not seeing an awful lot of operator usage throughout EU in particular. I know other regions, North America, it's still kind of the cornerstone. But seeing him flex onto Raze has been good to see that versatility from G2.
Okay, let's see what the second round looks like. Obviously, for Heretics, you're looking to do a bit of damage, maybe try and cost a rifle or two. And you can see quite a conservative purchase, I feel, for G2 here. You do have 2 of the rifles, so David P and Patitech both opting to keep on the rifles, but the other 3 opting for a slightly lighter purchase, potentially trying to strengthen that economy, but it looks like a gamble stack. So they've opted to put all of their players essentially towards that B site for the defensive team.
Yeah, as Niso actually got himself tucked into market. David P's creeping that way. He's actually going to wall it off, so...
Lovely.
Interesting here, going to cut off that lane altogether. David P doing what he does best, swinging on the top of that. Mixwell will find a second, and now comes a taller order for Heretics to recover from this.
And I really don't mind it. So let's talk as to why this round traditionally shouldn't go the way of Heretics, no matter which way you cut it, unless they gamble stack towards A. But the whole point of a gamble stack is you don't know where they're going to go. So you try and make the best of a poorer purchase. You try and maybe bring a bit of a surprise in, catch a couple players off, create that mayhem. For Mixwell, it's farming time, and it's clean. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Ultimate Online. There you go.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to start there. Obviously, a little Prime Gaming flawless for him. But the prime moment is the fact he's building funds. And especially being a Jet here, whether or not he opts into that operator is now going to be up to him. He's going to have funds available sooner rather than later.
Well, I mean, we always talk about, Jet has the ability with that aggressive ultimate. You can toss away a weapon here. And in terms of early game economy protection, that's really, really important. If they do start trading rounds back and forth, saving that 2,900 or alternative, the 5,000 for the operator this early on, it can be really important.
Get out of my way.
Okay, G2 keeping it clean.
Get out of my way.
2 ults popped, it sounds like. So let's see where they put them. Rifles galore for Heretics. And it seems, again, this very basic piece towards A. It is well constructed, but it is not going to be too complicated. Already you can see the smokes are up. Omen's going to keep the vision limited of over on the other side, of course. Waiting it out and a little bit of a patient play. Now, this could be a bit of miscommunication. No, they're going to find the puzzle piece. That's Sage. David P just playing very patiently, but now the spike to be planted. Good post plants ready for the other two as well. And you can see Heretics completely off guard. They have very little step back in here. They desperately need a pick.
Oh, well, this is the thing. They kept giving up A's side to play retake on it against Liquid. And again, they've got a very, very similar setup here. G2 just walking straight in, though. Makes it very difficult to have this many players up, though, for the retake. Here we go.
Oh, Mixwell's waiting on the verge here. That's going to be one, but he's quickly dealt with. Put to bed in Heretics. Double down, but it's Ardis controlling the gateway. No one comes through until Pora. But it is a 3v2. Look at David P. Look at this timing. Does he get it right? Yes, he does. Through he goes. Horrible surprise, but a great moment for him. And Pitt in support to shut down the final player. But that movement around from David P, that little bit of a lurk there, catching the timing just right, as that retake looked like it had a bit of leg to it then.
It did at one point. Pora's gone that. Again, we see him time and time again in spots like this where he's on that long flank through, obviously clearing his way through A main. Picks up one, but David P times it perfectly off the audio cue from that utility. Just clean. This is a much more disciplined G2 than we saw the other day.
Honestly, they've just done 3 site hits.
Yeah.
Haven't need to see much more, and look how low they've kept the economy. I'd love to bring up at one point how many kills have actually gone to Heretics, so you will see the fact that simply their money's in a really bad spot. Now, we will discuss the theories of what to do if you're just being run over like this and how to deal with it. For now, it looks like G2 felt out the pressure towards those B halls and went, all right, we don't need to walk into this yet, but there will be a problem. The Jet has gone walkabouts.
Well, this is the thing. 3 pieces of utility revealed all the information of Heretics set up on B.
Where's
now
Nuki?
the G2 have come away. Look at this. All players are rotating towards A.
I just wish we could have seen Nuki there. I don't know if David P spotted Nuki, but look at the ground that they've gained. Now, already, Nuki's going to fall kind of in towards getting the orb, trying to play around this one. And what do they have to play with? Is this just it? That is all that Nuki's got. So the off angle, if they play it right, could have worked. But I think, patience works for Pitt. Nicely done, even expecting a potential play out, which is a traditional answer to being overrun on sites. But they still need to land the site hit itself. 45 seconds, a Sheriff or 2, but still Pitt is doing well, and G2 look dominant. This is a little... Is it past the watershed yet? Are you allowed to do this? Right? Are we okay with this sort of thing on it? I don't... Look, can we get production to find out if this is okay? We will check... I want to check in with the score, at least kill-wise, for Heretics, because at the moment, this is G2 running over them.
Yeah, it is, and there's a little bit of utility being invested each round as well.
Yep.
They're not giving this up, so even though they don't have the weaponry to kind of stop this, but just in particular in this round there, as soon as the utility is revealed on B, I love the reaction from Heretics. They know they've given up their setup in terms of revealing the Sova, the Killjoy, and ultimately the Sage over there. As soon as G2 hear it, they react, they swing back through mid, but they leave David P and Pitt in those positions that have the map control. They know exactly how they're able to set up to make this push again, and it's fantastic damage control. As I say that, Lowell will find one, get one weapon off the board, but that is good for the trade.
Now, I want to just take note of how much damage Heretics have achieved so far. Kills aren't everything, but you want to do damage to at least build your funds up. Let's have a little look in. 2, 1. No one's broken past 3 kills yet.
Yeah.
So, it's a little rough. For them, they need to just get off the starting blocks. They will have a buyout, and Nuki back on that op, or should I not say back on, but at least getting on the op could be a bit of a difference maker. I want to keep eyes on where he plays this. Does he take it aggressive to try and make a difference, or does he try and play more dedicated towards the side? This mid control he's kind of starting with, that peak towards the catwalk, does indicate he might try and get a pick off this, and it looks like rinse and repeat towards A, at least for now, with a little bit of a lurk from David P, swinging through mid to clear, and instantaneously you're seeing the denial of the op, and you can see they are reading this very well. They have kept great control of the economy, but they have lost that first pick. David P goes down, but that wasn't where the vast majority of G2 were residing.
Yeah, Artis did pick up one with the Hunter's Fury, so that will give away some entry into the A site. Spike going down right now. Really good control from Artis here to stay in A main. Now we're in the situation again, we're testing that A site retake from Heretics.
And it's horrible to retake with an op, though. Let's keep that in mind. That is something that is very, very difficult to work out unless you're, I don't know, Wardell. But here we are. Let's see what Heretics can do about this one already. You can see the struggle happening. That clock is going to be a detriment and then some. Yes, the ultimate's going down, but you can already see the corner's been congregated in by the entirety of G2. Back in they go. Is someone very close to that spike, though? Artis says goodbye, good night, and even a flank, in adding insult to injury. Nisol fancies a go at it. Already, though, Mixwell's going to dive in there, denies it, and this is scrappy, but it doesn't matter. Artis will not let this slip. That is a clean board still for G2.
I mean, just absolutely shut it down. The lockdown gets invested. I love the response from Patitech. He uses the TP all the way over into the defender's spawn. It gives that secondary threat, and you could see for a minute Nuki was actually thinking about coming back and holding on to that, but there's just no time left to do that. With that much presence on site and coming from A main, you can't sacrifice one person watching.
And this is what I mean, I like to see big teams playing up to their skill level. This is something we talk about in Counter-Strike as well and other games, is playing to your own skill level rather than the skill level of your opponents. I'll see if that comes through later. We do, again, have a lighter buy, but with the ultimate coming out from Nuki, maybe a chance to do a bit more. Patitech down, but an instant trade. Mixwell not going to leave anything unanswered. Anything you can do, well, I'll do my best to do the same again, right back at you. Spike isn't moving towards the site for now. It looks like they're holding up for a second, maybe considering what to do. The revive gets invested, and Mixwell's on the site.
And again, as soon as that revive comes through, I mean, this setup here on A short not working at all for Heretics this time around, and it looks so strong versus Liquid. Pora going to try and find one on the flank. Pat ready for it. Niso last man standing. Against another clean A hit from G2.
There's something incredibly frustrating for a team to lose over and over again to the same sort of hit. Now, the hard part is their economy's never been in a good place. It has been constant lower buys, weaker buys, and when they get on the full buy, they seem to still get run over. The answer is, how do you now implement something that is very hard to counter, very hard to read? We have to just work something out on the fly. I like defensive side aggression to give you early information and a stack.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. Lowell the other day looked fantastic in doing these, you know, just putting a wall up somewhere, controlling that part of the map. And whilst it's not the same sort of aggression we've seen from David P on the Sage in the past, you know, his first blood rate is high enough that it's worthwhile doing, worthwhile exploring. Right now, G2, they're controlling the map and they're not really even peeking mid or anything like that. It's a smoke goes down, Mixwell walking up short like this. And they're finding the first kill so deep, it's giving them access. As I say that, Avova actually going to find David P through the smoke here on short. They're back up all the way. I thought G2 might push that for a second.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more aggression. Pora's going to try and play this smart, play it quiet. Oh, outdone. Double peek comes in from G2. Very meticulous in checking their corners. No issues like Scream had before. You can see the ultimates being popped, but Artis quick on the toes. Not going to fall for it this time. Pit does, though, and finally, Heretics might have a shot at this. Patitech still alive and kicking, though. Spike is down, so the time's in their favor. Where's Artis in this, though? It's just down to him. A 1v4 post-plan. Let's see what you got, Artis. 30 HP, ain't much to work with, and they've thrown everything at him. Finally around for the Heretics.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff there. Again, Lowell making use of his utility in the post-plant situation, holding on to that the whole way through that round, not buckling to the pressure, I should say. Not going to mean an awful lot in terms of economy. G2 obviously going to be able to buy back into this one, but small confidence, you know, builders like that, breaking that lock that G2 had. Hopefully, Heretics can take this in their stride now and build a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, the freebie on short is hard to characterize as something that's easily repeatable, but the fact that no one was traded into then was excellent. So I like that. I like to see a little bit of a different look, a little bit of something coming out. Maybe Heretics can find a way to keep controlling certain areas of the map. It does look like we're going back to more of a standard approach. I do want to see if there's maybe a bit of trickery up the sleeve now. They maybe try and call into question, is this finally the B hit? But Avova is doing very well. Nicely done to take that quick fight towards the main side, and yeah, takes it even further. Why did they both peek into that? Do not allow instantaneous trades for Ardis. If he gets given a second, he's going to do exactly that. David P is in all kinds of danger pretty soon. He's got Jet behind. He's surrounded here, isolated, but the spike regardless is going down on A. Now, it will be Pit to plant, but he does have Ardis to support. So David P is just being a nuisance. He kept 2 players entertained by those B halls for half of this round.
Yeah, and actually the lurk might still work out for David P in mid. Ardis here trying to hold close contact on the door. Pit finds one with the operator. 1 man left for Heretics as Lowell making his way up. I mean, revive on the board. I don't think it's worthwhile here. And there you go. That's the lurk from David P. They were back and forth with the utility in B main and eventually catches up with him.
Exactly that, and I love the fact we saw the early benefit of having a lurk, and obviously the late benefit of having a lurk.
Comes full circle.
Exactly. You had one Sage, and I think both Jet were kept very entertained at this point. They were still there. You can see Sage has to be present, Jet was present, and now the late lurk element comes around as soon as trying to take short.
And that's all on the back of really Ardis picking up those 2 kills. Again, I agree with you. As soon as you get the first kill, fantastic. Mixwell drops. They throw the paranoia out. They find the second, back up. Hold on to the site, because Ardis shouldn't be picking 2 up.
No, I mean, if he's given an opportunity, he will just tear it away.
Yes.
And they're going back to A. Rinse and repeat.
But this is the setup I'm talking about. Look at A short here. You've got Lowell and Avova in there. There's no control over A main. They're opting for retakes so early.
I don't mind this if they try to focus towards taking middle control as well. And this is something that only really you can theorize in certain elements, but they have been just hammered at A. It looks like they're trying to maybe get that. Obviously, this is going to be the job of Pit this time. Mixwell finally gets the pick there. They were waiting for someone to have a little look. Pora, off the deeper angle, does fall away from this. I don't love that, but it does open up a chance for LoL to do well. But he's kind of committed to this angle. It's going to be a wide swing, but David P falls, and that's not bad. Okay, suddenly Heretics are finding a couple of fights here.
Get out of my way.
The hero comes through. Mixwell going to pop the Blade Storm, but Pora actually popping him through the wall with the operator. Finds another as well. Pit will fall. Pora now traded out by Patitech. Lowell there to clean it up. That's a good round from Heretics there. Again, the rotation came in early enough that as soon as Presence came onto the site, it wasn't just Lowell and Avova taking a 2v4 versus G2.
Yeah, nicely played around on that little smoke there that came down towards short as well. It did give that opportunity to get the second pick. This was nice from Pora. Yeah. Let's have a little look on this again. Just enough. The bun giving away the game. Oh, no, ponytail next time. But back into it, it does still look like a very commanding scoreline. And this is G2 just showing one look. We have seen an A hit, and they've gotten 7 rounds for it. So there are various other areas on the map to explore, and it looks like they're going to have a go at it. Heretics, though, we haven't seen them tested on this side. Already an early warning signal going to be put down. Pora might have a little bit more to worry about soon enough, but behind the smoke, going to at least kind of give away that there are definitely players here. This isn't the same old A piece. The wall's gone up towards A. They don't have to worry about that for now.
And this is interesting now. The first time the G2 haven't seen that Sage presence, you can see them opting to lean back to B. Hunter's Fury, is he going to get sent out here, whether or not we see a tag? But it's just clearing off an angle. It clears that doorway to market. Ardis has done really well there to actually gain G2 the entry.
Okay, Avova, good luck. Try and stay alive, bide some time, allow those rotations to come in because they are so hesitant. Jet and Sage are still miles away for the defensive side team. Avova is doing the best he can to just smother this site in darkness. Lol's finally over there, a bit of a challenge towards the defensive side and wins it. Battle Sage v Battle Sage, it's going Heretics' favor, and Avova is doing glorious work. Staying alive, players smothering him towards the side. Finally, Mixwell shoves the barrel of the up his nose, and a 3v2. But look at these post plants, they're going to be a little tricky to work with, very dedicated and tucked towards the site. And now you're going to see Mixwell isolating and taking them down. We are obviously aware the UI is a little behind. Obviously the productions do the best they can. If it gets updated, we'll let you know, but we're aware of it, don't worry. But that was a nicely done piece. Again, G2 though, we're seeing strength across the board, which is scary for Heretics. They've thought, okay, we've got a grip on one side. We finally got a bit of an answer.
Well, it comes out. We've talked about conditioning a couple of times this week, and right there, the lean from Heretics was towards mid and A, and again, G2 read it perfectly. As soon as that Sage utility doesn't come through on B, and you don't necessarily get the Killjoy early presence, that's when they opt to kind of lean back. But it's 25, 30 seconds into the round. By that point, the rotation's already come from mid to A from Heretics.
Back in we go. Good performance so far between Ardis and Mixwell, I'd like to highlight. At least they are popping off frag department-wise. Money's in a great spot as well, and available to get the op up to play. Good to see them having a good couple of games as well, get that confidence building. And, you know, you look at win conditions for someone like G2, I would always say you want those two to be fragging. They are great pieces to have in the G2 puzzle. And on the other side, it was a very quiet start. It was a very, very quiet start. And for Heretics to come back and at least get a couple on the board here, gives them a bit of breathing room.
It does indeed, and ultimately the thing for G2, you know, they like to start like this. They like to, again, talking about conditioning, I mean, they're bullies. They're bullies in-game. They're completely set up to punish anything that most teams throw at them. So far, no real surprises from the way G2 are playing this. It's pretty much, you know, vanilla as it comes for them.
I just got to note that G2 actually just took a tactical pause. Hello? Okay.
Take a breather.
I mean, look, seeing them take tactical pauses is something we really haven't seen that much of. They're just kind of a run it through, so I like that. And it looks like we're seeing a bit of a playback. And look at this fake piece. They are biting into Ardis being at B because they got a bit of info on it. They've sacked 4 players here. They're finally sending Sage all the way back around. LoL's going to be getting towards A by the time they're breaching through. Nice shot from Avova. Quick as anything, going to try and maintain presence towards this. And actually success on Ardis is going to be great. That loosens up those other 3 players on B to finally get towards A.
Yeah, the lurker being found out from G2 could be a factor here, though. Resurrection invested by David P. So 4 back on the feet. David P actually swings through to tree, finds Avova still playing there. Again, he's got his kill. He was right to try and play his life there, see if Heretics can regroup and attack this from another angle. Mixwell top mid, though.
Okay, Mixwell, knowing that these retakes have been a little bit trickier, they have been getting a bit dicey, but Pitt, the experience shining through, dominating as he goes. He does finally fall, but this retake is rough.
Lockdown.
Heretics need to get into this, though, and you're right, the lockdown is there. It is going to force them away, but are they going to be able to get to the spike in time? No one detained, the spike's still ticking, no one's on it. They'll just sacrifice bodies, the smoke goes up, the wall goes up. Oh, Mixwell goes down, but the defuse is continuing, and it's surely done and dusted.
They didn't get it. The spike goes off. It's a Red Bull clutch from G2. They ran the clock down just enough there. The utility usage was insane, though. The wall comes out. The lockdown pushes G2 all the way back into wine. Unfortunately, the Nano Swarm wasn't thrown down early enough, I don't think, and one player's allowed to cross. But when this wall goes down, look at this. This is absolute chaos.
Oh my, that was, yeah, I think they know that was a little bit of a cheeky one. You'll take them, but you're probably not going to go, yeah, let's do that again. That was very, very close. So well done in the end for... Who was it last alive? Was it Pitt or was it... I can't remember who was the last player standing.
It
might have been Patatek at the end there.
No, David P, sorry.
There we go. David P at the very end, just being calm enough, but having full faith that the diffuser wouldn't come through, clearly. At least in time. We do see the ultimate popped. So maybe Heretics can do a bit of damage here. Bit of a different look as well. This middle presence coming through.
Yeah, it's the first time we've really seen G2 put some emphasis on it. Pora swinging out with a guard. You know, he might catch Ardis in the back. He does. Ardis still inside the owl drone. David P finally with the trade, but it's 2 kills from Pora, and that's more than enough on this round.
Well, you say that.
Yeah,
hold on.
Not anymore.
Hold on. Yeah, let's see if Nuki does... Oh, I got a little nervous then, but he does deliver towards David P. 2 still alive, but it's Patatek and Mixwell, so there is always going to be a danger, but they are locked towards middle. Spike to hand, and 3 players to locate. Patatek's gone, and yeah, so is Mixwell. Nicely done by the Heretics, keeping control, and I love that aggression on short.
Yeah, maybe just throwing one to the wind. Last round and a half.
Yep.
But an impressive one from G2 nonetheless. I do want to come back, talk about G2 the other day on attack, looking very dominant, and then things...
Sure.
I don't want to say fell apart for them.
No, it just got a bit dicier.
It did. And that was down to August really just kind of brute forcing their way to try and get rounds on the board. Heretics, I don't think, will employ that sort of playstyle. They're a lot more reliant on these kind of structured executes. But it's going to be interesting to see here if G2 can hold the line.
Okay. G2, I think, have set their standard. They've made their statement so far. Heretics, it's time for you to do the same. It was quite rough to watch. I mean, that was a sight hit over and over again for a good handful of rounds. It did eventually get worked out, and you saw the rounds bounce back. Heretics did manage to claim 3 in the end. And it's enough to weather at least the storm of losing the pistol and potentially the buy off the back of it. So it does give you a little bit of a buffer. But again, David P, let's see what you get up to start with. Is this live? It looks very, very patient from the attacking side here. Does seem as though they are into this. David P just being cautious, it seems. Maybe just waiting it out a second or two, seeing if any audio cues are given away or what the initial plan from the Heretics side would be.
Yeah, looking at this, I mean, Pitt got a pretty aggressive spy cam out on A main, so that's going to give some early information over to Mixwell. Swinging out, finding one with the Ghost in mid. I was just about to say, defensive-wise, statistically, 92% pistol win rate for G2 here, and then a 92% round 2 conversion. So you look at that, you look at the scoreline, it can become concerning if Heretics don't win this.
Looks like Heretics, though, with the 3 players they have, are kind of leaning towards short for now, leaving Pora to be the one to try and engage. Nice shot from himself, very clean towards David P. That should at least keep Jet dedicated towards the B side, which it has. That's exactly what you want. Try and give yourself the best chance, but it looks like they're actually going to lean back that way. So Spike heading back over towards B after that pick, maybe feeling it's enough to work with.
This cam sees all the way back towards Gelato, so again, as long as Patitech's in that position to kind of spot out the short push, they should be able to read into this. Artist now going to tuck into
30
Cubby.
seconds left.
Check
Well,
your corners,
please.
please, Heretics. Do not go without checking. Well done, Avova. You already get a tick in my book for whatever that's worth. And Mixwell put down. Shot in the back. Nisel's going to be there, and that's site taken. Very well composed on this pistol thus far. I love it. Patitech and Pit, though, trying to find a way back through. Spike to be planted. Patitech dedicated towards that defensive side. Going to have to show presence, as is Pit. Now both positions noted. Time going to be just ripped away from them. Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, really, really good pivot here on this pistol round from Heretics. And a pretty clean take, to be honest with you. Again, the Cloudburst comes down to cover off the turret. Unfortunately, that blocks off lane and the sight lines for Ardis. So Avova, you know, and whoever it was actually that was double stacked with him to swing. What a cheeky little pick to open up there.
Like in Mixwell's beard. Looking very lush. What do you rate the beard?
It's a strong 8. It's come on leaps and bounds actually.
Yeah.
I've kept up to date with his Twitter feed. He's been doing progress tweets.
Very strong. However, this buyback in obviously won't be. Frenzy, sheriffs here and there. The name of the game, keep it clean. For Heretics, try and build back in. This is still an uphill climb. There's no need to lie to you guys at home and sell you something it isn't. 4 rounds against 9 is still quite tricky to play with, but if they get in the groove of things, they can definitely start putting up some numbers here. So, looking at the purchase, at least for the Heretics side, was it 2 rifles, Marshall, a couple of SMGs, so pretty well balanced. Quite conservative again, not full into the rifles, but also not full into the SMGs.
No, it looks like actually 3 members of G2 going to swing all the way back through defensive spawn. Maybe David P has heard some kind of sound cue towards B main. Pat, though, walking out mid.
That's info.
Yeah, that is big info, yeah.
Okay, let's see if this stack does anything, though, because they're still locked towards CT. Mixwell just got himself in the site as well. Pora's ahead. Nice spam. Might get a tag or two. David P looking a little worse for wear. Spam comes right back in. They are being noted, and it looks like they're disengaging. Looking at where the attacking side are heading with that spike, it might be a wrap. And they can leave Pora here to just try and catch people on the way out. Exactly what they're going to do. Love this. This is pulling rotations perfectly. It's a dangerous game for sure, but it's going to work wonders. Yeah, Pora might die for this. A rifle does get lost, but the round should go the way of Heretics here.
I mean, they've got all the time in the world to sell for this post plant. I can see Nuki actually looking like he's going to swing on to the defensive spawn. Finds David P here. Patitech and Pitt going to swing onto it. Pat actually finding that one, but again, this kill's so deep that it's just eating time off the clock for G2. And again, it's a 2v3, so.
I'm curious if Pitt goes for this. The rifle is in hand. They could maybe get something else away. Let's see what they do with this. It does look like a pretty hard commitment here. Patitech's on this, so Avova's the one on the site. They're going to try and clear Dark just down below, and yeah, I think that's when it's going to be called out from being a potential one. They might sacrifice Patitech for this, get a gun away or two, but Pitt will be trying to potentially stay alive, or even catching Avova on the way out. And no one else is going to go down. He's actually surrounded. He's in all kinds of trouble. Yeah, say goodnight, Pitt.
Economy-wise, obviously,
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. They're back on to buy for this next one. So don't expect that to have a huge impact, especially obviously with the recent economy changes with saving weapons and whatnot. But I mean, so far so good. Heretics, you know, good cautious approach to that one. I think they were probably poised in the way that they set up for that default. They were probably poised for some aggression from G2. And obviously G2 were stacked up as 4 over towards A site initially, so I mean, potentially the push was going to come through onto mid there, and then as soon as they don't have contact, Pat walks out. Like you said, all that information gathered. It's actually the timing that Pat makes it into the attacker's spawn that they come back through mid.
Yeah, and I love the fact they were happy to post up Pora there. It looks like, okay, Artis is getting into that aggressive style that is very characterized with him, especially on this map.
Look how deep he's got already.
He's going to at least isolate one fight towards his kind of opposite number, and Patitech's found Nuki, so this is a problem. This is now success in areas they didn't want. And you can see, oh, this is a huge bit of map control. They can't rotate off this. Mixwell can watch his back as well. Look at this crossfire in play. So Artis, Patitech, and Mixwell, 3 of them have mid control. It does mean the players dedicated towards the sites are just locked in here, but the retake is going to be brutal. So here we go. Pressure now starting to mount. Who is it tucked on the site? David P, I guess, now has to evacuate site. Nisao's late mid play actually might have the timing, but Artis gets away with it. Even gets time to adjust. No. Nisao's there for the trade, so things still looking pretty decent for Heretics, holding on to 3 alive, and they do have walk to site.
The problem is with that mid setup, Pit Spycam's still spotting out everything in A lobby. You can see it every so often just lighting up on the minimap. That's all information. They don't need to kind of swing away from the setup that G2 have already. They know exactly where Heretics are kind of poised to go towards.
Yeah, and there's one player watching the cross in towards B, now unable to. That is David P. Do you commit through that? Timing's everything, sees 3 and dies for it. Information found, sure, but Mixwell on the flanks could be the one to keep your eyes on, at least in a second's time. Patitech might get the first fight, but Avova's got a nice little deep angle to play with, but it might get undone by Mixwell in a second. Let's see. Patitech still having to deal with all the players on the site for now. And yeah, it's Mixwell to actually lose out to Avova. I thought it'd be the other way around. Heretics really locking this down. Gorgeous post plants here. And Patitech not getting a step. And I love this adjustment of committing towards CT. He cannot leave this area now.
No, this is perfect. Got him pinched in. Again, I think Pat just holding on to try and do some damage to the economy before he does fall. I don't think he knows that they've both crossed already. There's obviously one in cover. Fantastic pinch there again to get that one off the board as well. And Niso, heads up play from him to obviously stay in that position holding on to top mid. Artis could have done way more damage than just the 1 kill that he got in that round. But again, just to talk about this, Pit Spycam and that kind of triple lock in mid, they know that they're outside B lobby. But Heretics, you know, running the clock down, David P being forced back into the defensive spawn from the lockdown. Heretics didn't rush in. They still waited on the rotation.
Now, I want to talk about how coming into the half they had, what, I think it was 3 rounds for Heretics, and now they are right back on the cusp here. And this is going to be a bit of a maybe rude awakening for G2, because, okay, they'll get the bye soon, don't worry, but it will be 9-7. That's a far closer scoreline than I expected it to be after seeing that half. But Heretics showing exactly why they've made it to this point. They've taken down one big name, and they're trying to eye up the second. Pit going to be trying to get it to the perfect level for him. And it is going to be Patitech to find them. Bloody hell, his positioning is nuts, isn't it? Lol's now in a bit of danger. He's a little bit cautious about what's going on. Does he check the corner deep enough? He's definitely heard something. He knows what's up, but G2 are trying to swarm this. And it may not get them the round, but it might get a gun away and a bit of a nuisance. Lol's in trouble, backing away. They're committing on this one with everything they've got, but one by one they go. And one by one they're going to fall to this. It's not good work by any means from G2. They're getting nothing out of this round.
No, desperate for that weapon on the other side of the wall, but Lol going to tuck his tail between his legs, head out of here. He's got his heel back up, so hopefully going to be able to get back up some of that HP that was lost in that fight. But yeah, G2 swinging 1 by 1 on that after the owl drone. Desperately trying to get the weapon off the board. Mixwell. Cheeky little last bullet out of that spray will find Pour Up. Whether or not they can do any more damage, we'll have to wait and see.
For now, this is great from Heretics. I want to keep watching this. I want to see when the guns come out how this continues forward, because at the moment, G2, it feels like they're trying to just kind of, you know, play quite a... not fast and loose, but a little bit, you know, stack a site, try and make some aggressive plays while they're on the weaker weapons, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea either. Artis, if he can do some damage, try and keep... why is he so good? Try and keep that economy humble, that'd be lovely. And Nuki's got him, so here we go. Heretics right back in the game. This is where things get exciting, though. G2 back on the purchase. They should be able to good buy out this one, but Heretics now get put to the challenge. This is the round that matters. This one gets you right back in and might make G2 start sweating.
And economy-wise, this is very, very important. Again, previous round, G2 put a couple of sheriffs, a couple of light armors on the board, a ghost, and some utility invested as well after that push into A main, sorry. So this is important this round. I mean, you can see look at the economy here for G2. It's kind of everything on the board. Yes, lost bonus is a factor, but this is worrying times here.
Heretics very patient to start with, and I like the deeper hold, especially towards that B side, knowing that there is going to be presence, but Mixwell going to start things off with a bang. That op comes out straight away. Presence now noted. Let's see if he adjusts. He actually continues forward. They're getting aggressive towards middle. Going to post up David P a little deeper. The spam going to help him cross a little safely, and he makes it through scot-free, but he's going to hear this revive and know what's going on too now. Just around the corner. But on the other side, do Heretics find a way back in? If I'm then, I know that mid is now in trouble. Lean into a site if you can. Easier said than done. You still have the likes of Artist waiting, potentially, and maybe Pit kind of posted up. But mid is an area you do not have info in anymore.
No, or control. With David P there, they have no control. Again, look on the minimap. Look at these vision cones. David P and Mixwell, they've got it locked down from two separate angles. And I'm pretty sure, once again, Heretics aren't going to have any idea this happened. Niso, the last time this happened, he was the player to kind of shut it down. Maybe he's still got that in the back of his mind.
They seem pretty aware of a possibility, and Lol's pick towards Paddytech is going to just keep selling this idea of problems ahead. Now Mixwell, crouched under Pora, knows those lines of sight too well, takes it even further. But wait, there's still one waiting here. Artist trying to bide his time. Waiting patiently, swings on one, looks for a second, gets a second! 20 seconds, Spike now down, but he's in a 1v3. This gets so difficult to deal with, but he's a problem. He's got the reload, he's going to try and buy the time on this. Spams away, he doesn't get it, and Nisao does. Even the plant to add insult to injury, and Heretics are right back at the door now.
Yeah, and that's scary. A couple of kills for G2, but economy-wise, That's a tough loss for them. Really impressive stuff so far from Heretics. What I'm loving to see is the patience. They're expecting G2 to make these plays just to gain map control, you know, tucking Artist into top mid, tucking David P into top mid, Mixwell flexing between, obviously, that pizza spot with the Sage Wall boost as well. I'm really impressed so far, once again, by Heretics.
This goes here.
Look, they've kept the economy humble, and you're going to see now G2 potentially losing out on this one as well. This will be 9-9. Yeah, you've got, what, I don't really look at much to see here. Marshals, sheriffs, that's about it. So, for now, Heretics going to have to try and keep this clean. Again, this is always going to be the name of the game. Keep it clean in these rounds. Don't give up easy kills. Do not get caught out. Don't lose out on rifles.
Yeah, a couple of ultimates to reinvest into this if G2 see fit. I did hear a Blade Storm pop. I have to wait and take a look, see if it was Nuki or Mixwell, because it's on the board for both of them.
Looks like Mixwell for now.
Yeah. So that could be a factor here. Heavy lean by Heretics this time around. 4 in aim. Actually 5, sorry, including Lowell at the back. And looks like he's got a little bit of a lineup set up here. Pora maybe going to follow up with it. Nano Swarm. The Hunter's Fury goes through. That's going to clean off a couple of angles here, but Pit's got tucked behind Generator here. He's not been cleared just yet. He's going to find Nuki.
Yeah, Pit can be a danger. He's going to find one, but a trade comes back in. Site's still being contested. Mixwell is the one to keep your eyes on in case those blades do come out to play. For now, though, Heretics keeping everything going the way you want to be seeing. Heretics, this is clean. This is perfect. Just David P now standing. That site's theirs. They have taken this cleanly. Yes, a couple of, ultimates invested here and there, but for me, I'm happy to see it. This will get up Heretics to 9-9. They're going to put G2 through the ringer. We are tied up all even now. G2, time to deliver, boys. You are now pressured by the Heretics.
Well, this is the thing. Early on, the questions were called around G2. I'm talking about early on in terms of VALORANT in Europe is how versatile can G2 be? How many of these variations of these pushes on the defensive executes do they have? Because right now, Heretics don't seem to be biting. I mean, G2 are getting that control, getting those positions, but it's not converting to anything.
If I'm G2, I call a tactical timeout now, and I discuss things. Because they haven't found an answer to deal with this. Now, I don't know if this is actually theirs. Keep in mind, I think the other ones earlier were tech pauses, but I would like to find out if G2 call a tactical pause, because this would be the prime moment for a coach to have a discussion, or for them just to try and consider what to do now, because they have been overrun by the Heretics quite handedly.
Yeah, and again, just looking over to the economy there, we'll take a look at it when we get back in, but I think I just saw team credits, 900.
Oof.
So it's even tighter than that previous one that I said was potentially the most important round of the match. And the concerning thing now, we talk about economy and VALORANT, but momentum is a huge factor. Just outside of the economy, Heretics now, what, is it 6 on the bounce?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it was 9-3 on the half. So Here we are. And yes, it is a tactical pause from G2. It's the perfect opportunity as well because they haven't found an answer. That mid-aggression does normally garner them a great deal of rounds. But if you are Heretics coming into this, G2 have stylized this map as being one of their favorites. You know Ascent. If it's open, they'll happily pick that. That's a go-to, and it's a very strong pick. But it looks like Heretics have a very good plan in mind. So let's keep up with this one because G2 hopefully have been able to adjust something here because at the moment, Heretics have really taken the reins. But now they have to deal with what's going to be thrown at them. Maybe Heretics throw something, a little bit of a curveball their way, potentially.
Slow start to this one once again, and another variation of the setup from Heretics. You can see Nuki again, just so wary of mid. And this time around, G2, with this investment and keeping the economy in mind, look how deep they're playing. Ardis and David P don't want to mess with anything from Market. Actually, looking like we might actually just get another straight out B hit.
Yeah.
From the Heretics.
Nothing so subtle about it. This could be a pretty dry hit so far. All 4 players are here. You've got the late lurk coming around from Pora, who is just making sure mid was under control. Bit of a spam, and you can see that utility being thrown in by G2 to try and slow this down, allow rotations to come through, get Mixwell in the right place potentially at the right time. But they have drawn a lot of utility out of G2 here, and that is great work. Very classic Counter-Strike-esque. Take away the smokes, take away the wall, make them pay for this investment. But there you go. Nuki's going to pay with his life towards David P. He backs away. It does show the indication they still want to hit this site.
Yeah, Mixwell finally now coming over to that defensive spawn spot. The nanoswarm is perfect though from Pora. Mixwell swings out, finds the first. Niso trying to get into Cubby there, but 13 seconds left on the clock. Ardis here on the box. He can't find the kill. He does eventually get it. Avova falls.
Yeah, they have to go now though. LOL's in trouble. It's 6 seconds. It's 5 seconds. And it's one player alive. Where is the spike? Niso can't get to it. And the fight's not going to be given to him. They can play the time now and they're going to dwindle it out. G2 just about getting this one under wraps, but that was dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous for Heretics, because when you lose a round like that after building that much momentum, it's a heartbreaker. The clock runs down. David P's just able to buy so much time there at B main, and yes, the utility's invested, but he's got a fantastic opportunity to find that first kill, and the important thing is he doesn't buy off more than he can chew. He backs up, he plays off Ardis from sight.
I mean, we talk about taming the beast, and I feel like they have. I think Heretics have tamed G2 here to play a more standardized game. That aggression, that kind of cockiness that we love, ain't gonna work here, and well, it's not gonna work again, David P. Get down, sit down there on the site. Jet's already out there, the rotations are on the way, but it's too little too late. No one can make it around, the wall goes up. They have just backhanded G2. Heretics, surely this is gonna be a good post plant, nice positioning. Anything to stop it? Doesn't look like it. There we go, Spike now in. Retake time for G2, and the weaponry, it's lacking. Patitek, Ardis, it ain't perfect.
No, and actually, Ardis gonna... Okay, Nuki falls. Ardis putting that Bulldog to work. Recon Bolt goes through onto site. Now in a 4v4 situation. Couple of ultimates on the board, but looks like we're just gonna get a pretty much straight push through from G2. Mixwell found from Pora, though. That's still lurk from B main here, and whether or not Ardis is gonna swing into it. He's just gonna walk through the cage. He doesn't find it. He does. Pora will fall, but Heretics find 2 in response.
They dismantled one arm of this defense, but the others on the site maintained position, and Heretics keep building into this one. This is mad stuff coming out from the Heretics, and I love it. They expected that little push to come out from David P. They read him like a book.
Well, look at that. Straight away, the response is, right, we're hitting this fast and hard. And David P is expecting, right, they're going to play slow again. I'm going to creep up. I've got my slow orb. I've got my wall. But 3 of them swing on that, and it's entry given. The rotation doesn't come in quick enough. Pora, again, I'm not sure if you spotted there, the Nano Swarm lineup from B lobby onto defensive spawn opening. Mixwell can't hold that angle.
Look at the state of the money. The economy is still in a bad spot for G2. Heretics leading by quite the margin, but now look at this structure from the Heretics. You've got very deep holds coming out. Lol at the back here. Nisao using utility to clear up short. Maybe trying to make sure that there's no funny business happening here. No one trying to get Aggie in middle. We know that's a G2 look. They'll try and take territory by pushing up.
Again, huge pressure on Ardis here, and there are still, I mean, Spike's this side of the map, and there are 3 members of Heretics as well, so he's so
oh god, they are so good. So okay, they got contact at B, and you could see Ardis probably relaying the information. I've seen 2, maybe 3, etc. And then the rest, obviously, of G2 would like to help out. They'll try and rotate over, and as soon as David P tried to, instantly met. That is excellent gameplay. This is punishing rotations, and you're doing it again. Lars found Patty-Tech. This is so beautiful. This is good-looking Valorant. I want you to watch this back. Artist is in all kinds of trouble. He gets a tag, not a frag. It doesn't matter. He's dead. And the site's theirs. It's all theirs. This is exactly how you punish rotations. Heretics are living in the heads of G2 rent-free right now.
It is, but again, it comes off the back of that slow, patient, methodical start. Like you said, the contact comes through, information's relayed. David P doesn't even really push out. He throws a shoulder and he's found. And time again, Heretics are finding these kills. We saw it with that top mid push from Artis initially. It's a one and done spot, which it shouldn't be from there.
Okay, we've got a good game on our hands. Honestly, I was a little worried. I was sat here like, all right, if we got a 9-3, you know.
I'm going to say something here, and I'm going to sound very smug, but I said to you yesterday, I don't think G2 will spank Heretics.
Look, okay, fair enough, and I was happy to say I think Daddy's come home here, and G2's just going to absolutely give him the belt.
Well, you think
it wasn't the case.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, I thought they were just going to, I was going to do the old line, you know, big boys come to play in the.
It's crazy because I felt stupid when I said it to you, and now I'm. Lothar's going to be absolutely insufferable.
Yep. So let's kind of roll it back as well, just to keep you guys informed at home. This is G2's pick. This has been a very good map for them, and this was Heretics punishing rotation off of information garnered, and that's something that you don't often see. But this map has been very well played out, and Heretics have a wonderful understanding. So as soon as Artis relayed that information that there were players, kind of where Avova is right now, that's when you saw that punish of the rotation. And again, the money has been in a constant state of disarray.
They're buying back into it.
They're buying back in. Okay.
I mean, they want to hold them on 11 rounds.
Yeah.
This is the play to not let it even go to overtime. As soon as you obviously Heretics hit 12, you can save into this and say, yeah, we're going to push overtime, but...
Just having a little sip of the tea. Just those sweet G2 tears. It is going to be a little time out here to talk things through. Obviously, this is a round that's going to matter a great deal.
This is important, though, because one thing, the play style of Liquid on Ascent the other day, the rounds they started picking up was when Liquid were making desperation plays, and it was Scream coming out and having that huge impact that we know he did throughout that entire series. But right now, this is Heretics looking way more composed. Way more composed.
Okay, big one. This is going to be kind of, you know, getting towards map point 12 on the board for the Heretics if they get this, and it's a real investment buy from G2. They've got the rifles, not all of them. Artis a little lighter, David P lighter, Patty-Tech obviously not ideal in his purchase. And again, we see this methodical clear and going through the fundamentals from the Heretics.
This time around, Pit rotated over to B site with Artis. Trap wires down, and the spy cam spotting out B main. He's so with his Aljo, not going to find anything up mid. David P drifting this direction though, but it's the first time we've seen Heretics really pivot into mid here and put some emphasis on it.
This could be a new look. Mixwell has had success over towards A. That is the first time we've seen Pora being removed very early on. So that might alleviate some of the pressure and kind of allow that additional player to rotate where needed. Heretics going to peel away and look for more options. Maybe lean back in towards short. They have had success here. It does seem as though G2 like to find information. And it will be Mixwell posted on the other side. But Mixwell did start this off well. We do have Omen having a little TP around, having a look, having a little bit of a... See if he can find any info.
He cleared wine with that. That's interesting.
Did. But that's where the kill came in. So maybe seeing if Mixwell was still around. Left. And it does look like they're going back to this A hit.
Yeah, David P actually still over towards mid. Lowell actually going to get Pora back on his feet, so that's why the rotation came through. Avova finds two. The Hunter's Fury following up, cutting off some of these angles. It's so clean from Heretics. The explosion on the back of the Resurrection.
They just played contact off the back of that res. That is madness. And if you're G2, they had no idea. Yeah, Artis is always going to get you one, it feels like. But a retake with 3, and the money is in the garbage. David P has only got a ghost here. Artis on the SMG, and Lowell's just got a freebie on David P. This is going to be 12 all day long, surely. That spike is taking away. Artis is doing everything he can, digging as deep as possible. But still with Avova, still with Pora here. I don't know how he'd get back in, and Pora doesn't either. Pit, get out of there. This is going to be 12. He's still trying to commit. He's still trying to find a way back through. But they aren't going to give you anything. And Pit knows that he can try. He can try as he might. It's 12 on the board for Heretics.
Yikes. That was actually really, really impressive. And again, just running it down to 20 seconds on the clock. Resurrection comes through, and that explosion onto site. There's absolutely zero response from G2 on the way in. I mean, Avova walks in, finds those 2 kills. The round's over, in my eyes.
You know, when I did that little line about being like the Titan Slayers, I think it might be real. I don't know. I can't imagine a world where we don't see G2 in a grand final right now in my head. I don't see it. But the one thing we've questioned, and I'm sure the desk will bring it up, is do they have the ability to bring it back? Because they have not often been on the back foot. We have not seen G2 under the gun often. They have not had to deal with that. Whereas Heretics, they've probably had to pull themselves up so many times. And again, we see the economy never been in a good place. And I love this from Heretics. Slow, patient play, leaving Lol to do a little bit of what he wants, taking their time, but they've held deep towards mid. They've held deep towards back B.
And again, the slow start from Heretics. It's just keeping G2 guessing. TP comes through. Pat going to clear out A main a little bit, but no information gained from there. Lowell was able to hide deep enough in A lobby. He wasn't spotted out. Mixwell, I'm worried now I'm seeing him creep a bit. No, he's tucking under, right, he's tucking under bricks, that's fine. I thought maybe off the back of that TP he was going to try and push through to A main, but now Heretics swing back. 45 seconds left on the clock. Are they going to hit hard again on A site?
Looks like that's the intention for now. And on the other side, waiting so patiently would be Mixwell. Investing the utility. Yeah, he's very isolated, untradeable, but he doesn't need to be. He's going to get one and dash, quickly gets out of there, a hit and run happens. Heretics now going to have to try and operate with 4. Killjoy puts it down and going to have to try and clear out the site as they go, trying to force them away, give them that step forward, but Patitek still standing tall here. That smoke is keeping them safe. Keeps himself relatively well positioned, but the spike will be planted. Lowell's found 1. Patitek still there with 2. And we're down into the final throws. Avova's got another. And now who's left? Pitt trying to play it back through, and he's dead and buried. It's just Patitek now, watching as Heretics just picked up map 1.
And you can see Pora out of his seat already. That is a massive, massive performance from Heretics. G2 coming into this, they were night and day stronger statistically defending on Ascent, and Heretics just put on an absolute clinic, Lauren.
You know what? I'm ready. The Kool-Aid's there. I'm going to drink. I'm going to chug that bad boy because Heretics have impressed me. Do you know what? The Liquid game, we didn't know where Liquid were. We didn't know what state they came in as. But they've just picked up Ascent against G2. And they did that in style, coming back with only 3 rounds on the half.
Yeah, I mean, and actually more often than not, we see Heretics kind of lean on their defensive performance with how strong they can be. Those clutch players coming through in post-plant scenarios. Pora, the man on your screen right now, the one I'm talking about in particular. But this is our day 1 upsetters. Maybe start.
¡Wow! Primer mapa para Team Heretics, 13-10. Impensado. La verdad es que G2 había partido atacando con todo el poder. Mixwell bien bajito. Lowell y Paura por parte de Team Heretics dando la vida. Nada, creo que bien ganado. Partieron bajo partieron defendiendo súper mal Team Heretics. Llegaron a estar 9-3. Pero cuando se dieron vuelta las cosas, cuando le tocó defender a G2, se vino la misma tónica que con Team Heretics. El equipo que defendía realmente, no sé, no armó nunca una buena estrategia para defender. Así que nada, 13-10, Team Heretics 1-0. Ya viene el segundo mapa, así que nos vemos luego. Ya volvemos con el stream. Ya estamos de vuelta. Se viene el segundo mapa entre Team Heretics y G2 Esports. 13-10, el primer mapa para Team Heretics. 1-0. Como dijimos anteriormente, Team Heretics demostrando que es un equipo fuerte. A pesar de que todos pensaban que iba a ser G2 Esports un mero trámite, por decirlo de una forma. Y la verdad es que Lowell y Paura, demostrando que son grandes jugadores. Recordemos que Paura viene desde Counter Strike. Y nada, así que ya vamos por el segundo mapa, que si no me equivoco es Bin, porque el primer mapa fue Asen. Sí, creo que es Bin del segundo mapa. Si hay una definición, se va a Split, después elegido por G2. Eh, el mapa Ascent fue elegido por G2. De hecho, el mapa que viene ahora, que estoy casi seguro que es bien, fue elegido por Team Heretics. Y ahora se nos viene nuestro segundo mapa. Así que quédense en sintonía, esto ya comienza. Volvemos en unos 3 minutos. Ya estamos de vuelta, semifinal 1 del torneo First Strike Europa entre G2 Esports y Team Heretics. Team Heretics va 1-0, ganó el primer mapa 13-10, como ya lo hemos dicho. G2 jugando como él, siendo que son los favoritos. Eh, bueno, Team Heretics en realidad mostrando de lo que son capaces, así que nah. Eh, Estamos esperando que comience el segundo mapa. No sé por qué se están demorando tanto. Eh, Nada, eso, esperemos que empiece luego. Se han demorado más que la cresta. Saludar a la gente que está mirando. Sé que no son muchos, pero siempre todo vale. Saludar a mi compadre negro. El negro. Que está en transmisión. Aquí esperando el segundo mapa entre G2 Esports y Team Heretics. 1-0 gana Team Heretics. Mi compadre Anonymous que ahora me sigue. Es mi compadre negro. Gracias a los que están mirando. Somos 7. Así que no, gracias. Así que 13-10. Primer mapa. Team Heretics. Vamos a. Va a comenzar ahora el segundo mapa, así que los dejo con la transmisión. Vamos a seguir con nuestro segundo mapa entre Team Heretics entonces y G2 Esports. Segundo mapa, BIN, para los que conocen. Así que vamos a. Yeah.
You know, arguably, if not still definitely the most decorated and most dominating team in Europe. But this is going to be a chance for them to sort of prove that they deserve to be in another final and to be the best. And as you guys can see, we are on to Agent Select on Bind. Mitch, talk us through what you're seeing right now.
Well, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary over on the Heretics side. They're going for the standard picks of Ova, pivoting over to the Brimstone, which we see on Bind quite a lot. But if you do take a look at G2, our Battle Sage, where's he gone? He's disappeared.
Yeah, we have seen David play a lot of Breach on Bind. Understandable, Sage is not as impactful I have seen on other maps, but Lowell on the other side, he only plays Sage, right?
Yep.
I don't think he played any other character in the tournament so far, even the qualifiers.
Nope.
So it's more like probably like a comfort pick, because I don't believe that Sage is so much needed on Bind as on other maps. But in general, I really like the Breach pick, because it allows Maxwell to really play well with the Raze. It's such a good combo. David P with this stun. It's kind of like still like a Sage slow and Paint Shells Raze combo, right? So it has like the ability to combine both. So I really like the composition.
Saludos a mi hermanita que se acaba de unir. Te quiero, hermanita.
But they're so comfortable in making those pivots from what we consider to be the standard. And the fact that they're, I think, the youngest team in these top four in the semifinals, and that they don't just follow the mold of, you look up how to play Bind, even Reddit's going to tell you, not with a Sage, buddy. You go, I bet every time Lau plays a bit of matchmaking, if he's got his name hidden, people are going to be like, dude, what? No, that's not the one to pick here.
People will also say that about Brimstone. Don't play very true.
Y que esto comienza ahora. Segundo mapa entre Team Heretics y G2 Esports. Bind. G2 jugando con Stopa, con Razer, Cypher, Omen. Y Team Heretics sorprendiendo. Creo que va una Viper. No está en el meta, así que está sorprendiendo bastante. Y vamos con el segundo mapa. Saludos a los que están mirando. Saludos, mi hermanita.
Be a little bit more present is what's pushing Brimstone down in those stats, because teams are starting to experiment on Bind, which was historically the niche map for Brimstone. Now, if you're taking Viper, and a lot of them are starting to use her as a controller, well, then you're going to be pushing the Brimstone out of the composition. I think you're going to expect to see a lot from Evolva. He's been a solid player. Really, the danger of Brimstone is those orbital strikes. Using them in lamps in these confined areas like Elbow, you can get almost guaranteed kills and clear out map control.
For me, the Brimstone is actually more important than what you mentioned, is he has the access to instant smokes. not something that Omen has in his arsenal. It's also very interesting because right now you can see an example in G2's composition. There's Omen, no Jet.
Yes.
So there's no way of combining those two smokes at the same time. But they play no Brimstone. On the other hand, we have a Brimstone because they have no Jet on Heretics, which allows to have multiple smokes on the side in the same simultaneous moment.
Well, the kings of Europe are just one map away from being dethroned, but can Heretics finish them off? Hypok and Pansy, over to you.
They say a king's name is the tower of strength, and right now G2's is being questioned. Coming into this, if anyone said anyone other than FPX and G2 are probably going to be in those finals, I'm going to call you a liar, straight up. They were the safest choices. And right now, Heretics are making upsets happen. This could be history in the making. I know people, I've seen Timey on Twitter, the guy's been saying, look, Heretics, watch out for them. A lot of players, but we know practice does not always equal results. But now we're seeing those results.
No, you're absolutely right. And this G2 bad boy villain figure, the status they've put up, I mean, we needed a hero in EU. We needed a couple more names to throw into that mix. I think right now we're looking at probably one of the strongest candidates. If this goes the way I'm now expecting it to, Heretics haven't lost bind. Period. 100% win rate in their official games. Again, that is tracked, and they have a very, very good set of statistics behind that. So I am worried for G2, but I am so excited to see Heretics continue what they showed us on Ascent.
Okay, we're jumping into it now. Heretics will be on the attack, and on the defensive side will be G2. And some of these players, put a fire underneath them, and let's see if they can maybe step up a little here. G2 are not used to being in this scenario. And this, keep in mind, was Heretics' map choice. They feel comfortable here. Statistically, it's making exact sense. Let's see what they start with.
Okay, Heretics with a fairly standard default. 2 members pushing up towards Hookah. There's actually 3 of G2 up there. Spycam goes through. That's going to give some information over of the presence in Hookah. Pit and Patitech still holding on to A there, but Spike's coming this direction, Lauren.
Okay, they still have to work with it. You can see David P getting a little curious here, trying to maintain that control with Mixwell. But Lal is considering that spike. It's at least going to make some noise. Try and get some attention, no response. G2 playing very patiently here, but it will be the play towards window. They have already caused those rotations to come in. Heretics working their way up now. Still 3 players from the defending side of G2, waiting patiently. Mixwell wants in, and he gets in. Takes down Avova. Artist there, but there are trades until Artist just about goes down. It leaves it in the hands of like a Pit. Left. In the hands of Patitech. And now Pit's disconnected. Patitech needs to live. You could see Heretics wanting that pick there. Isolate the player, but where's the spike? Just about recovered. Oh, the timing. Pit just gets it right. Those sound cues giving away the game, and Nisao now left in a dire scenario. 10 seconds, isolates 1, but 10 HP. He has to find the fight. And Pit, he's waiting, but he might just have some trouble coming his way. Pit's still alive, but for how long? He holds his nerve. The veteran from Counter-Strike. The man brought in to fix NIP after their terrible streak back in Counter-Strike. He knows what it's like to be under the gun. He knows what stress is like. He at least gets G2 the first one.
Composure there. And again, the reliance on the spy cam as well, just to feed that information over. I thought at the point the recon bolt comes back online for Niso, there's an opportunity if Pitt got himself stuck inside that spy cam that Niso was going to be able to get a cheeky little wall bang through. But I mean, it came down to one. It came down to a 1v1. There was a back and forth pistol round. What's important is how patient David P and Mixwell were in Hooker there. Artist did rotate over to A, so we like that.
Okay, nothing too fancy about this from Heretics, looking to potentially get a plant. You can see the utility is down, is pretty manic, but no kills have been acquired just yet. Pit's still present on the site. You're going to see the information flowing. Artist, right place, right time, right sort of spray. Finds Avova, and this is a good shutdown from G2. Staying calm in this sort of mayhem is going to at least get them the round here. Whether it be clean is down to Lol and how much damage he could do.
Well, that's an important point you make as well. We talk about not used to seeing G2, or G2 not used to being on the back foot or going 1-0 down in a best-of-3 series, and composure is definitely a factor here. Again, G2's win conditions, setting the pace early, setting the tone, finding these, you know, the free kills that they pick up time and time again with these defensive executes, holding the line on a site. Heretics not able to get anything off of that one.
I'm still going to say, though, there is something to be said about getting a player mad, getting someone like
Yes.
Mixwell mad, getting someone like Ardis mad. Some will become quiet, some won't deliver, some step up and they do something beyond expectations. However, for now, Heretics do have the better buy. G2 going to try and buffer it out a little, keep those Spectres and all the goodies into play.
Heretics again, same two members, Pora and Nuki over towards window, and actually again the same stack, David P and Mixwell inside it. David P actually might send the fault line out. Don't think they're going to catch anybody. Again, spy cam goes up, gives the information over, but they're not going to look to get aggressive on this. The utility keeping him in there. Pat's actually taking the TP over here to try and reinforce.
Wait, but keep in mind where the spike is right now. This could be
There's
a
4
little
players for
scary.
G2.
Yeah, this is an over-rotation, I feel. And as soon as they scout this out, there's trouble afoot. Yeah, they can send the breach around, but by this point, there's a little bit of danger. Nice work from Ardis to at least alleviate some of the stress, and they can hopefully get around to the right place. But Pitt has to play this perfectly. Already being spammed up, though. Position probably noted here. Nice intuition. Good utility. Keeps Nisao safe for the plant.
Let's see, we've still got 3 members of G2 training through the defensive spawn, so David P and Pitt got to be careful here not to give anything away too early. Wait for all the reinforcements to come through.
Yeah,
everybody's in position now.
Yeah, it's time to go now. Throw down that last bit of utility. Try and maybe tip the scales in your favor because it's going to be all through lamps. Look at them, 3 players there. Nuki's already got 1. Pitt's got him fallen. Uh-oh, this is going terribly wrong. And now they have to keep pushing. They have to force forward. Ardis and Patatek in combination. Ardis just trying to spray him wildly, pre-firing everything. But it's Lol left alive. 1 on the defuse, and it's going to be Ardis with 3. Beautiful retake from G2.
And actually, you know, Avova utilising the Molotov perfectly there to cut off that entrance to lamps. As soon as the fault line comes through, the owl drone and the recon bolt from Ardis, all that utility invested to clear out lamps, and it's effectively negated by Avova's Molotov. I mean, initially I thought Nuki was going to hold on to that side of the site, but G2, again, just resetting, moving as a pack, and they clear through.
Now, G2's money should get into a better spot here. We can see them getting those rifles up. Not sure how many they're able to take away and keep over. But regardless, they should be in a better spot, of course, than Heretics. And we'll see what they do with maybe this sort of like hero rifle I see with a couple of sheriffs. Bit in pieces here. David P feeling confident enough to get the ultimate orb into the pocket. Pitt was in support. And I want to see if there's any sort of quirkier plays coming out from Heretics to see if they can define a way to get Nuki into a good position. He's the player I want to keep my eyes on here because he will pack the punch in comparison to the rest.
There's a deep spy cam from Pitt, so if he hops in there, which he does, he's going to find all of this information there. They do pop it. No rotation initially. Actually, Pat going to fake the teleport there. And Ardis rotating through the defensive spawn. Heretics hesitating for a moment. Maybe just waiting for G2 to give something away. Look like we have a lineup there with a shock dart and the paint shells to clear out elbow. See if they can get into sight.
They're being held back by utility for now. Ultimate being popped, trying to utilize utility to maybe make up for the lack of weaponry, but for now, Pitt's still going to keep them at arm's length. 1 HP, barely alive. David P called in to help out. They are being mowed down, though. Ardis, he's not messing around anymore. This man is angry. And Pora, your last one alive. Incredible performance on map 1, but here with just the Ghost. Unable to do too much, but Pitt was 1 HP, and there's a rifle now recovered. Half. A shield to play with. Okay, Pora, show me what you're made of. Spike is loose, and Ardis has the angle. Ardis is turning up here, ladies and gents. That gets a bit worrying, but still, that was a very light buy from Heretics.
Light buy, but what's important there is Pitt peeling back all the way onto site. And again, the response with the Hunter's Fury from Ardis waits for them to come into that choke point, the bottleneck towards B side, the top of long. Really, really good response from G2 initially.
Without Ardis popping 2 of them with that, it could have been a bit more dangerous, I do feel.
Well, again, peeling back there to elbow and back sight, it means they don't get overwhelmed. They can rely on Ardis if he gets a tag or the kill. I mean, even the tag is worthwhile. And obviously, it reveals their location. He can relay that information.
Okay, we see a good purchase for both sides now. The economy in a healthy state, at least for this round. And again, the constant back and forth of that shower controller is such a pivotal place on this map, but Mixwell taking matters into his own hands. Aggression through A short while double stacking towards shower here. Patatek will get the attention, but there is another player present.
What's the utility being traded back and forth there over showers? The Aldro comes through now. Pat actually still close. Niso does trade out, but Ardis re-swings on that.
Wait, Wait, Pora's just threaded the needle. Pora got around while Mixwell was backing towards Lamps. Nice play from Mixwell to keep control. That could have gone a little bit more dicey, but it opens up a chance for Lal to maybe get a plant from this. See if he gets it down in time. It does look like it was denied. Nice work with utility coming out from G2 to try and buy time. There was a moment, a lapse of judgment for a second that opened up that opportunity. And now the second bite at the cherry. Lal this time drawing out more utility. Still 40 seconds on the board. And no one making the push just yet. Lal is joined by Avova, so they do have at least that cross covered. And Avova's going to start leering out. He's going to have a little bit of a walk here.
30
and if
seconds
they can isolate
left.
that player on the side, if they can kill David P, it could be game on. And it is going to be the swing, and it's a clean kill. Uh-oh, sometimes this can get a little sketchy. Spike now safely to be planted. The flank is coming in, but it's both angles. Similar positioning now on the retake for Pit and Mixwell. And there's Pit to find one. But Avova.
Ultimate online.
Ultimate is available. No subtlety needs to be had here. But bides the time. A 1v2.
I know exactly.
Now they 100% know where he is. But how does he play this out right? The time is still ticking. You can hear the ultimate coming in. He's on the spike. Mixwell's going to try and take the fight. Avova needs to play this right. And he might have just made enough of a mistake, but the time is going to be everything. They should have enough to get the defuse.
Yeah, I'm not sure about swinging straight out there again. Just the timing wasn't perfect on the ultimate, and then kind of left himself a little bit exposed. Stimpack went down, so I guess he was planning on swinging all the way out onto triple, but I mean, good recovery initially from Heretics to get the spike down. Again, Lowell investing the revive, and as soon as that comes through, or maybe a little overzealous there, but what's good here is Avova able to isolate that kill. Mixwell still obviously trying to hold on to Lamps, so good response from Heretics initially from that early aggression coming out of G2.
5-0 now, but we've seen this in the past. All right, we've seen those 9-3 halves. Bide our time on it. Ultimate popped. Nice early damage. Mixwell probably smiling about that one.
Damage.
Yeah, it's done a whole lot. The splash damage from that, leaving them worse from where. And Mixwell hasn't even had to see the opponents to get two of them right now.
Opening up very, very well. Nuki actually going to pop his showstopper in response and try and walk it through. David P finds Pora on long, so just two up here for Heretics. Mixwell tucks himself into glass. So no damage done there. And here we go, David P. The trademark B-long push from him. Again, he's just peeling away now. Just trying to keep him pinched, waiting for his teammates to come in and clean this up.
Yeah, and the matter of keeping this clean again for the economy, we saw what happens when the economy gets broken and you're constantly in those shaky buys. Crossfire's in place for G2, and it's clean. Mixwell there, MVP in that round at the very least.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's vanilla as you like. Pop out with the showstopper.
Nothing vanilla about a Prime Gaming flawless round.
Fair. Touche. Touche.
But yeah, 6-0, this is definitely a response. I want to say this is a statement response from G2. As said, there's two ways big teams respond to getting backhanded. You either get a little quiet, we start seeing the cracks appear, we start telling you how this can happen, and big players go, you know, a little tilty, and they get a little frustrated, and egos get bruised, or they come out swinging. Right now, they are coming out swinging, but we have seen this been turned around before, exactly by Heretics.
Well, I mean, I actually agree with what Lothar said on the desk about Heretics not being too flexible in terms of responding to what G2 were giving them. But right now, I mean, we know what the win conditions are for G2, and they're absolutely showing that.
Okay, Patstak, the first bit of contact to be made. No player spotted until now, bit of a tag on the cross, but Artis just blocks him from the air. Nookie, say goodnight. That was a little rough around the edges, and Mixwell styling on him now. That's just unfair behavior of Over and Niso. The last two alive. Awkward timing, and Mixwell is making statements here. 3 kills again. This guy's on a mission. He will drag his team across the finish line if he has to, but Niso now left in the 1v3. Spike completely contained by the opposing side. Willing to take the reveal at this point, as you can see. Pit is closing in little by little. A little bit of a tag done, ensuring position is still there. And that Spike, again, is going to be in the worst position possible. 3, 2, 1. Pit, where you at? There he is.
Yeah, and this is, to be honest, this is this aggression is not what we saw from G2 first time around. Again, on the defensive half, they were trying to tuck people into spots. We obviously saw David P and Ardis in the previous map, but right now they're just converting time and time again. As soon as this contact comes through, I mean, Mixwell's played top truck now a number of times, and I mean, it's so much cleaner in map 2 here from G2. And I'm wondering really if Heretics are going to have a response to this, because, you know, they were able to take the previous map on their terms, slow the game down, which was, you know, G2's kind of, I don't want to say weakness, but it's the polar opposite to their strength.
Yeah, it's definitely the way to counter them for sure. We do see an all-in long piece coming out, the traditional shower control trying to be played with for G2, but Heretics responding in kind by taking B long control, so going to be placing themselves up at the top there. But looking at the buy here, it's Nisa who can make the difference. Ultimate is online, so maybe you could do something with it. Mixwell again. This guy is doing so much work for G2. Welcome to the Mixwell show, and he wants more. He's going on this one. This is to prove a point. This is just filthy work from the man. Spike's now theirs. That is his to hold on to.
Yeah, and I mean, they can hold on to this right now. Boombot comes through. Fault line sent out by David P as well. Mixwell just going to send some bullets through. Actually, he may be getting caught off guard with the... Oh my word. Pora tried to follow him through the TP, but they didn't get the spike.
How many? How many people? Don't feed Mixwell. Do not make him come online. All right, thank you. Thank you, Pit. Get the last one.
He's basically...
Here.
Is he going to have his ult again off that? No, I think he maybe got maybe three orbs off of that, but... just another really, really good... do you know what's fantastic? I said before this, you know, way back in EU, we talked about, and I mean in NA as well, obviously the reliance on Jet and that operator role. Mixwell now showing just how to play Raze, especially on Bind. It's a playground, just absolutely fantastic so far.
8-0. We do need a response from Heretics. As much as I want to believe in this you know, slightly newer team to at least my eyes, when it comes to, you know, the high end of EU Valorant, they need to show up here and get a couple of rounds on the board. This would instantly maintain that mentality. There's going to be a nice little pick to start off with. That's the first freebie they've really had. I don't think they've had a clean entry at any point here.
No. It's off the back of the ultimate usage over there. Mixwell actually pushing all the way through. Niso ready for it. And again, he was the player for Heretics. Pora on the other side of the map as well. Neural Theft gets popped. Going to give the information all the way over to Heretics.
And how often do we see David P doing that push? It is very characterized. They know this, but Pit's on the site. He needs to maintain position. If he can play this right, maybe catch one off guard. Gives away the position now. Truly noted, he's alone. Artist is still pretty far away. And he's going to have 3 players on the site at the very least. Overwhelmed. Heretics might be finding their first here. 5 standing and barely any damage back to them. Artist is pretty good, but this might be a little bit beyond his reach here.
Yeah. Sky Smoke comes through again. Pora swings on it. Another Prime Gaming flawless. And again, that's the kind of response. And that was what they were able to do on Ascent. They were able to just wait on these pushes from G2 and punish them. Again, started off with that freebie. The first blood did go over as a result of the use of Hunter's Fury. But again, it was a fantastic opening. And the thing was, they got that over on A. Niso's still holding on to A short. Mixwell isn't able to push through and find that value that G2 so often do.
Coming back in for G2, this is probably to steal the nerves, I'd say. You come into this as favourites towards a tournament to at least get to the finals. You expect excellence from them, and we normally get it. However, information going to be found quite early here. They can post up 3 players down long. This is a direct response after that nice little pick that came in on David P. So they've already garnered the information that, all right, no one is initially towards B. So they can now cheat over an additional player. You can put your Raze in a better position towards A. So now they can support in the perfect place. This is why defensive-sided aggression is critical.
Yeah, I mean, for G2, it more often than not works out as kills, but just this information alone, you're absolutely right, Lauren. Artist now going to just confirm that information. The Aldron goes through. Avova set up. He does have his orbital strike as well, so expect him to play a strong post-plant position if Heretics get the spike down. David P now drifting back over. He's actually going to use it to clear out lamps. Mixwell going to take a lot of damage down to 30 HP.
That's a pretty good start here. It does give them the ground to now take. You can see them flooding in towards lamps. Gonna get up close, gonna get personal. Lol needs to get that plant and get it clean. It does seem as though that is the case. We're in a 5v5 close plant until then. The wall goes down and so does G2, leaving just Pit alive. And suddenly Heretics are online. They need a buffer. 2 rounds, I still don't think it's enough, but maybe just a little bit more, just one more to give you that weather into that second half.
Maybe not enough, but 9-3.
We've seen it.
We have seen it. Yeah, recently.
I mean, okay, let's take this into bigger picture then. attack defense sided on this map, where do you land on this? I would say that it's hard to say that when we talk about two teams who've come in from very different standpoints and applying that wider picture, but still, where would you say this should land?
I mean, interestingly enough, for Heretics in particular, this leans more towards an attacking sided map. So what I'm seeing so far is kind of worrying with this scoreline, if we're to just go off the numbers itself. But Heretics, I feel as if structure-wise, they are stronger on defense across all maps. And again, that is reflected in most of the stats. Hold that thought.
Yeah, we do have a little early action here. Mixwell feeling the pressure up long as well. That opening pick did cost David P his life, and he has been struggling to find some comfort here, it does feel. Mixwell, no subtlety to his presence now. That op is duly noted. And look at these rotations. Hold on, they put all their players towards B right now. Now, luckily for them, they're in the right place, but you could see the call. Guys, no one's at A. Get at least one player back there right now. We don't need to stack this out just yet. And now they've over-rotated again. They've posted up Pit. These rotations are just
Pit's
madness.
going as well.
What is going on here for G2? A horrific misread is what's just happened. Heretics get to walk the site for free. There better be a plan for this retake that is going to be incredible. You could see the intention at least coming through with the Hunter's Fury from Artis, but it's Pora to find two. Already disaster strikes as Pora's in the spawn. He knows where they are now. This retake has got no legs to it.
No, and look how deep Heretics are able to move with all of that time and space that Pora's gained by pushing through to the defensive spawn and finding those kills. Low can post up in elbow. Everybody else playing so deep away from the spike here.
Yeah, they're
look at the utility lineups.
They are ready to go. Nuki's just got gun out playing at least a little bit of contact, but it's going to be Patatek. You got to go for it. No reason not to at this point. No one's offering you anything up. And, well, it looks like he's decided to try and cut his losses, but it is going to be a very similar scenario to what we just saw.
Yeah, really, really clean once again. G2 not really sure what information had caused that rotation, but again, initially it was a very, very heavy lean towards A. And then as soon as Pitt comes out, the timing is awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful the moment he steps into the spawn.
Okay, excuse me. There was the opt-down, so it does make sense that he at least tried to keep that in play. Yeah. That's fair enough. I kind of maybe missed that because I thought maybe Mixwell would have stayed on the site, but no. Those rotations, though, it feels like overcalling or missed calling coming out from G2.
Maybe that is that, again, the confidence factor of G2, and it's like, right, cool, yep, swing back, and it's an impulsive call. The information is relayed, and they react so quickly to it.
That's absolutely fair. Heretics, though, if they can do one more 4 rounds, I'll take that. I'll take that as a workable half. If it does stay 9-3, yes, we've seen it before, but I don't know if it's repeatable, but in we go, and say goodbye to 2! It's so explosive from Heretics. When they hit hard. Showers is theirs, the site's theirs, it's all theirs.
And again, I mean, all this utility now, the smoke's over, the slow orb's down, the wall goes up over heaven. And again, all of this time and space just allows them to set up exactly how they want to for the post plant. A huge order for David P and Pitt.
Okay. Let's see what you got. Otherwise, this half looks a little bit scarier than it could have. Pitt's been in these retake scenarios so often, and it's so quick. A flawless closeout. That was prime. I've got to say, Heretics, late in the half, turning up now. We have a game on our hands. This could be 2-0.
A similar story to the first map. Heretics took them a while to kind of come up with some kind of response, and when it does, this round is a perfect example of what we saw on the first map as well, Lauren. Just systematically breaking down that setup from G2, not allowing the early aggression, early positioning to be converted whatsoever.
Can you imagine the mental state of G2 right now? After that first map, they come back in super strong. Okay, sick. We've got this great build-up. We can kind of get those negative emotions away. We're in the right place. But then there's that little build back, and it's explosive from Heretics. But it's still G2 with the lead. But on the side swap here, we will see Heretics have to show what they've got on this defensive side. And G2 they're still G2. I will never underestimate these boys. They are something else when they come to it. But they still have to prove what they're made of here.
Again, the early TP play. Pitt actually finding Nuki straight away. Niso now. Hold the fort of over, dropping out a window with Pora. Pora did take the TP, and actually, G2 in response going to send 4 all the way through to Showers.
Yeah, there's one Sage here for now, and that's about it. Now, Lol's going to be at least smoked out for now. A bit of safety for him to operate under, even without the vision. It is going to be onto the flank coming in now. Let's see how that breach plays out. It will be probably a kill, I imagine. No, patience being shown. Look at the flank. Get to short. I have to see this flank coming in from David P. It's going to find Pora. That opens up a huge potential now. Problems for Heretics. So many angles to deal with, and they have no safety to play from anymore. Lal and Niso backs in. They are not going to get a step through here. Pit does die, but look at the time. It is ticking.
A couple of members of G2, very, very low HP. Pat down to about 90, so definitely doable here, but they need to find a kill or two in the next 5 seconds to make this realistic.
No single peaks coming. Oh, wait, they lined up. Niso now in the 1v2, but he has to find 2 individual players. They can just hide away as Artist fades away, and G2 get the pistol round in their favor. It did get dicey. When that double kill came in, I got a little nervous then.
Yeah, I mean, the back and forth with the TP there. Pora doing the same thing we saw on Bind the other day on the defensive pistol around that cam setup into window. And obviously utilizing the TP very, very early round. Oh, David P nearly actually messed that one up. That would have been tragic for G2. Luckily closes it out. But yeah, just really, really nice response there from G2. And again, the reacting to the information they're given.
Honestly, I'm going to put it this way. I'm no diehard G2 fan, but if it does mean we get a third map, I actually am happy enough to see them grind it out. Anyway, that aside, Frenzies, not too much to write home about for the Heretics. This should be a clean one for G2, and that should be on the docket in their minds. You can see a very conservative purchase if it is correct that David P and Artist opting to wait it until the bigger rounds to invest into the heavier weaponry.
Okay, actually, again, Heretics leaning this direction. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath here on B site. Already, flank coming through. G2 again opting to come through. Spike's gone through the teleporter again. Rotation goes through defense and spawn for Heretics. But I think they're going to be able to get straight onto site here.
Yes and no, there are players present. Yeah, and Pora's in a decent enough spot that could have done some work there, but as said, they are on, the spike is down. They are at least going to get a post-plant with 5 alive here. G2, a little bit of trouble from the utility there. You could see Artist finding a Vova. And again, keep in mind that yes, you are seeing pistols in the kill feed, but it is Artist just trying to save and build up that bank, showing that prowess. As Nisao, the last one alive. Trying to get another. Hold on. There we go. Artist keeping things safe. Under control, double digits now achieved.
And a big round. Very, very big round here for Heretics. 10-4 the scoreline. And again, this is when, you know, a map can just slip through your fingers in terms of the economy. When you have such a strong first half, again, this is the one that can be, I mean, it's either the turn or the tides or it seals the deal.
Okay. Big round coming in. And again, if you are, a fan of, let's say, Counter-Strike, you know that the gun rounds do look very different. Sometimes teams are exceptionally good at pistols, some aren't. And now we're going to have to see if maybe G2 do get pressured a little more. I want to see what Heretics' plan may be. The Vova going to be at least swatted away for now from getting a bit of a freebie to start with. Nisao could be in trouble as well. Look at this contact play coming up. Mixwell straight on it, does the dance, and, well, he's just going to find death at the end of it. G2 with a absolutely belting start.
I mean, the risk of going further forward just to get an extra couple of yards out of the owl drone. The reason Niso's caught off guard there. Now Heretics, Pora, big swing and a miss from him. Pat will find him, so 3v5 now. Over. Pat's just sneaking through the smoke.
I mean, he's a bit of a smoke criminal, but he does get caught eventually. And now we do see the nade coming through. That should land, do potentially some damage. No, it actually doesn't, excuse me. That just went a little short on it. Nuki and Lolo trying to do something on the way back, but this post-plant looks pretty good. I like the fact that Mixwell is postured up aggressively. Oh my, that was so awkward, but Mixwell does find it. And Lol's a million miles away, chilling out by the spawn, just having a look around. Just, this is gorgeous. Look at this.
Yeah. This was a big round, and it now relies on Heretics basically come back in either on a scrappy buy or a complete save.
Yep.
And with the way G2 are kind of setting the tone, setting the pace for these rounds, again, just thinking back to that early pickoff with Niso, he's looking for that early information, and G2 is spread effectively enough where Mixwell can just walk. I mean, he's the only one there. He's the only one walking up B short, and he finds that kill. So Heretics in trouble, I'll say that.
Yeah, they are. For now, and keep in mind there would be a map 3 if you're just tuning in. Map 1 did go to Heretics, and in some fashion, the gorgeous kind of run back after being down at such a deficit on the half, but you can see that G2 look fired up now. The individuals are definitely online. This looks like a different beast altogether, but I also say that Heretics haven't looked as comfortable in certain areas. I think we saw a very polarizing half from them on the first map, and the second half was excellent, of course, but here we haven't quite seen that diligence slip into place just yet. But there's a couple more rounds to play with for now. It looks like G2 are back on course. They've righted the ship here, and you can see the economy's taken a beating for Heretics.
It has indeed a wide default from G2. Avova's actually got himself tucked into the TP, finds the first, but Pit and Ardis respond. Niso and Avova fall. Pora now in a position he's got to hold down B side, but nobody coming in just yet other than the Owl drone. Lowell might catch Pit, and he does indeed. This is all information in favour of G2, though. Again, they know exactly where the remaining members are at least, but
Okay.
Lowell will find David P on A site. This is interesting. Now, this spy cam is huge from Pora.
This is incredible. He was going to be fed alive, but Pora finds Paditek and back away slightly. 30 HP, just sees Ardis on the way out. The man's got moves. He will not be pinned down. And again, the information free-flowing here as Ardis wants to do this all on his own, but the HP is so low. And the other team now closing in Heretics. The net just getting closer and closer. Caught eventually. Heretics do get one on the board.
And it's important. Like I said, scrappy buy. But coming back into that, Pora anchoring B site with that spy cam, again playing his life long enough, draws out the rotation, waits out the rotation of his teammates, and yeah, really good hold there. The fact that Pora is able to escape all the way back through elbow as well, and Ardis can't trade that again, it just creates another threat for the retake.
Yeah, Mixwell played in off the back of hearing that TP go down, but effective trades as ever. That looks so cool when it goes through the TP. But still, nice work from Nuki in the end to find Ardis. No threats to be allowed. But G2 still will have the upper hand here, getting very close towards map point. Obviously not match point, as it was Heretics to pick up map 1. But coming back through, what's the money looking like for G2 here? They should be able to get a decent purchase, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. They've still got 11,000 across the team in the bank, so they've got another couple of rounds in their favour, so to say. I say that, obviously, if Heretics do respond with a couple more.
But got to say, the man on the screen right there, Mixwell, has become a bit of a monster, if I'm honest. And Pora, careful now. You walk into the den, there could be some trouble on the other side. You have Nuki there with you as well. So an early exchange towards that control. Garnered now back towards Showers. Ardis going to pop a preemptive. Hunter's Fury, nothing to come from it this time. Normally it feels like he always gets one.
Again, it's unfortunate when you tag the Raze again. She's got that
push,
mobility.
I was wondering if he was going to get so bold. Would you dare? It's got to be tempting at this point to try and retake so much map territory.
Or even just push forward and again, get somebody pushed up far enough, even if it's a one-and-done spot. You get the information early enough and you can call out that rotation if it's necessary. But Pora going to hold tight in the showers for the time being. A heavy lean from G2 now onto B long.
But look how deep Heretics are holding. No one is actually on site. They're towards the defensive kind of entrance. You've got one towards elbow. They're happy to give up the site, at least for the plant, and play for the retake because of this. Hunter's Fury is going to be a nuisance. It will deny the plant at least for a second or two. Paditek did find one of the rotators, so this becomes a bit more of an issue now. Heretics better be ready for what's coming their way. Now the defensive wall gets put up by G2, defending this spike plant, and you can see there's no freebies being given here.
Again, got to back up because of the showstopper. Actually, a lot of utility invested over towards elbow. Avova and Lowell looking to take control here. David P got to hold the line. Pora finds one. Pit and David P, though, respond with two of their own. Ardis with a third. A fantastic hold from G2. Everyone chiming in, shutting that down, putting them on 12 rounds.
Okay, with their G2 have bounded back. Heretics have yet to find that momentum, and it might be a little too late in the day now. If it was a couple more rounds, you know, if it wasn't MR12, I'd give it a little bit more time. But G2 have looked ferocious. They look angry. And you know what? This looks like a team ready to win this game now.
Well, there's one thing to note. Again, we saw a couple of times on Ascent them trying those early pushes, getting ground, but it was like a 90%. In terms of what we're used to seeing from G2, it's 90%. The extra 10% is them swinging on angles, clearing things actively, using utility the way that they have here. And straight away, again, Mixwell opens this one up.
Yeah, they want to make this hurt. They want to try and do this right here, right now. Nisao is still trying to fight the good fight for Heretics. dips back in, does do some damage, but look at what's left. Patitek has so much room. He's basically holding two of their players back, and they can't do much about it. It's a bold peek out, and LOL's gonna die for it. Pora and Nuki has just had to watch as these guys have shown unbreakable will coming back in. They got absolutely trounced in map 1 on that comeback, and it's got to have stung. Their egos were surely bruised, but Heretics now have just been pressured down. Unless Pora and Nuki can do something, this one is done, and we're going to go to a map 3, but Pora now, it's all on you. A 1v3 to play with. Time not on your side, and neither of those bullets, but he does find one. The cross is treacherous. The time ticks. 27 HP, 5 bullets. It's Mixwell to close. I cannot imagine a better player to do it. And that is just a steely gaze of focus. This man is just playing for business now. There is no more smiling. There is no more frustration. This is revenge for map 1.
I mean, that was absolute anger demonstrated there. And I don't want to say tilt, but they've come back just absolutely livid, and they've taken control of Bayern. One thing you said earlier, Lauren, that I found very interesting about this theory that we've never seen G2 play to their ceiling. It's always to whatever the opponent brings to the series. And this time around, now they come out of map 1, they're like, right, well, we know what we've got to do. We've just got to go out there, effectively first blood every round, and convert it. Time and time again, they were doing that. Mixwell absolutely huge on the raise here on Bayern.
Yeah, Mixwell being a key component to the victory there for G2, but everyone stepped up.
Yes.
The rotations, I got a little sketchy on, if I'm honest. They looked like over-rotations, over-commitment, but no, they pulled it back in and they actually dealt with the business that was thrown at them. And sadly, Heretics felt like they never came online this time.
It was. Again, thinking about things, you know, Mixwell says they're very improv in the way that they play, and those impulsive calls that it could be based off just an audio cue or a feeling. And when they're amped up like that, it can draw out. And to us, it looks like that. The one thing is, every time they over-rotated, they still look good in retakes.
Yep.
Again, just moving as a pack, time and time again, just finding the kills necessary. So a really, really good demonstration from G2. A fantastic response after map 1.
Okay, the rebuttal has been made, but there's still a map 3. I'm so glad we get to go to 3 maps. This would be no other way I'd like to have this go down. I want to see Split. I want to see G2 pushed again. I want to see Heretics do what just happened. That first map just made me fall in love with this team. Don't take it away from me now. I like them. I want to see more of that.
An interesting dynamic to this. Split the other day when it was played.
Yep.
Heretics were heavily, Liquid were heavily favored to win that one. Again, Liquid stronger map. Not drawing the comparison between Liquid and G2, but Heretics massively impressed me on Split. Massively.
All right. It's going to map 3, but before we get there, let's head to some Prime Gaming highlights, get back to the desk to break down everything we just saw and what's to come.
Uno a uno en las semifinales. 13-5 el segundo mapa. Nos vamos al mapa definitorio, que es Split, elegido por G2. Segundo mapa, ¿qué podemos decir? A diferencia del primero, creo que G2 despertó, por fin. Mixwell dejó de cometer los errores que estaba cometiendo en el primer mapa. Ardis dando la vida, nada que decir. David P, puta, el belga tiene una puntería, disculpen la palabra, pero de la puta madre. Ahí se nota algo, se notan los profesionales que vienen desde Counter-Strike. CSGO, para lo he entendido. La verdad es que no es fácil apuntar en este juego, menos achuntar los cabezazos o headshot, tiros a la cabeza. Yo mismo juego este juego y es horrible de difícil. Así que nada, pues vamos a esperar. Vamos por el tercer mapa, Split, como dije, 1-1, mapa definitorio. Así que ya volvemos dentro de muy poco.
Beats by Nevs.
Estamos de vuelta en la primera semifinal de First Strike Europa, semifinal número 1. G2 Esports contra Team Heretics. Primer mapa para Team Heretics, 13-10, bastante peleado, con G2 bastante dormido en realidad. Y segundo mapa, 13-5 para G2, 1-1. Ahora nos vamos a Split, tercer mapa definitivo. Recordemos que semifinales, quien gana pasa a la final. La segunda semifinal está Zoom FC. Cosas son. Es un equipo, como dije anteriormente, un equipo de aficionados. Porque no tiene una organización detrás para solventarlo. Y por otro lado tenemos a Fan Plus Phoenix, que es la segunda semifinal entonces. Zoom, no sé cómo se llama, FC contra Fan Plus Phoenix. Ahora estamos esperando que comience el tercer mapa entre G2 y Heretics. Mapa definitivo, así que va a estar peleado. 1-1. Tu web va a estar. Así que, nada, pues. ¿Qué se puede comentar? Bueno, Mixwell despertó del segundo mapa. Recordemos que el primero estuvo súper bajo, sacó un KDA de 6, 12 y 12, creo. Hizo súper poco soporte para lo que acostumbran realmente. Y Patty también, junto con David P, que no fueron, no demostraron lo que son realmente. En el segundo mapa todo lo contrario, así que nada que hacer. Así que el tercer mapa ya va a comenzar. Estamos esperando. Esto ya comienza, así que los dejo, chicos, con los verdaderos casters. Yo soy solo un peón más. Así que nos vemos luego.
Two very, very strong on attack, but they were giving away rounds to August. Sure. That was a close fought match there on Split. On the flip side of that, Heretics have a very impressive, not as many reps on Split, admittedly, and again against a different pool of teams altogether, but statistically very, very strong here on defense. Heretics starting here on defense are going to be able to set the bar for it.
I can't wait for it. I honestly cannot wait for this. I can't imagine a better way to find out who will be waiting in that grand final. The first team to make it through here in Europe. Will it be G2 or would it be the surprise element of Heretics making it all the way through? 10 seconds and we kick this off. Looking out for the Sheriff to come out to play. And if any of you do know Pitt from Counter-Strike, you know he was a bit of a Deagle master. So you wouldn't be even surprised to see that in his hands. It doesn't seem like that's the case right now, but I do see Reyna, I do see a Frenzy, and I do see a lot of players going right towards him. Instantly dead. Ardis, get out of his house.
Pora responds back though, going to be able to peel away onto site, but gotta be careful. Oh, the nade comes out, and actually Pora able to peek onto it, not able to get that kill though. Boombot hopefully going to convert that, but all members of G2 pretty tagged up. David P on the stage, the only one that's been able to heal from all of that chip damage early on.
And they've been held at the gate.
Yeah.
Everything they wanted, the initial pick, the little bit of surprise, gone. It's done. A 1-for-1 trade, taking into account the HP differential, is actually pretty rough for G2 now. Mixwell, Patchtech, and Pitt all lower than they'd like, and they have no map control elsewhere.
Yeah, 10 seconds now. They're probably going to reset, try and maybe get Patchtech back up to a decent HP level, because the Pit's already drifted all the way back through the attacker's spawn. Other three members of G2 now following suit. 45 seconds left on the clock. There you go. Heal goes over to Patchtech. That's two members going to be looking a bit healthier coming into this push. Avova has made his way all the way over onto B site now, with Pora floating down towards stairs. I'm worried, actually, if he's going to continue this rotation through the defensive spawn.
It looks like he is as well. Yeah, he's heading a little bit round towards that A defensive side, so this is all going to come down to one man. Avova needs to hold back the flood. Oh, and that's how you do it. Build a dam. No one's going through. Heretics holding this down so well. 10 seconds now. Reinforcements on the way, and he needs help. Overwhelmed by David P. Patchtech getting the plant in. It's going to be two of them to hold. Make it just one. Patchtech isolates one, quickly trying to TP away, find a new angle, find some safety, because now two players looking forward. Patchtech isolates one. Oh, he gets outdone by Nuki. And Heretics, pat on the back for Avova there. Outstanding play.
And I love that decision as well of overhit. So, I mean, it's 2 kills with 1 bullet. Opts not to give up that space and hold down next to Pillar just to buy as much time. Pora, unfortunately, going to drop down and obviously secure a kill before he is removed. But, wow, Heretics, fantastic hold here in the pistol round.
Patisek gave it a damn good go, but Nuki very aware, keeping cool, and for the confidence for Heretics, this is key. That first stamp on the board, that first pistol round, yes, of course, we know the economy, the knock-on effect, it gets you that better purchase, but look at the purchase back.
Yep, G2 reinvesting straight back into this one again. A couple of kills on the board, and the spike going down means we're going to have an SMG brawl. Limited utility looking at it, but Heretics now going to take a slower approach. G2 drifting 3 all the way up mid. Just David P and Pitt now trailing through sewers. Close. That trap wire going to give the information over. And this is where we saw Niso be so effective the other day on split in this position on ropes.
Now they're playing blind to middle here. They do have a couple of, bits of utility set up to kind of raise the alarm if anything does come through. Mixwell making a fair crack of noise here, so that should alert the Reyna on the other side, of course, that being Niso. So now they're aware that mid has definitely been garnered. Looking towards Sage on the other side now. Lol's going to be the one watching this, but Mixwell trying to make a bit of a mad dash through. Going to isolate Avova. Good nade. Very good nade going to come through. Keeps him away. And this side should be theirs. Now, if you're Heretics, you should instantly go to a retake position on this. Just play the retake. You don't need the early fights. But Lol's tempted. You could see it. He was considering, do I go on this? No. They played patiently, and now they have to find their way back into this site.
Yep, and there you go. I was about to say 4v5, but Pora falling there. G2 have a stranglehold on B side. Now the paranoia comes through. Mixwell converts on that one. So just 2 members up for Heretics now. Couple of players on G2 tagged up. Mixwell swings wide. Nuki going to find that one. Dark cover comes down though, and actually, looked like a little bit of damage will come between that when the phone line comes through. It's perfect. Going to slow this retake down.
Where is Niso in this? I really want to see that perspective if he gets anything done. Already blistering through the side. Nuki knows there's players by the pillar, but it is Niso to get the frag, and now looks for another and gets another. Hold on. It's going to be Nuki. Oh, the body, and he even gets the frag. That was an invested round from G2, remember. This is not your normal second round. That was everything thrown in on that.
Yeah, and again, Niso just coming up huge again. The time invested in that flank, again, the slow push, and, hats off to Nuki as well. Not giving too much away from that defense. As when the fault line comes through, he can sit in the dark cover for the time being, and ultimately it keeps the members of G2 on the site guessing.
I've got to say it, very impressive work coming out from Heretics here. Such resilience being shown, and we the desk highlighted Niso does need to be big on this Reyna. It's a very characterized pick, and we've just seen it come through here.
The 2 integral components for Heretics on split last time was Lowell on the Sage, Niso on the Reyna. Again, we saw a similar setup, and again seeing this aggression into B garage that we saw last time. Dark cover comes down, the wall goes up, it boxes G2 across.
Nice work from Pora. Should allow him to get away. Not necessarily scot-free, but using his utility almost as a smoke. Gets him away, retains vision for his favor, and Pitt's in all kinds of trouble. Yeah, the Sheriff, it can look good in his hand, but buying back in. These guys are relentlessly purchasing. Niso just tickling the toes. How has Mixwell got that? But he does. So now there's a bit of a flaw, a bit of a problem. There's a wild Mixwell walking around with 1 HP. Now, the theory is a lot more intimidating in theory than actuality.
Timing.
But the timing is everything. Pora's going to be a nasty surprise. He gets information, and that is key. That is critical! And so is that turnaround. G2 keep buying into this, and they keep losing.
And the thing is, he's removed the heal off the board as well. Sage dropping, David P going down there means that obviously Mixwell can't do anything about his HP levels. Pora creeping now at the top of ramps. G2 set up in a decent position, but 2 members blocked in on site. It's going to make this very difficult to hold on to.
Mixwell, even the UI thinks he's dead. I don't blame it. It's 1 HP. The man's barely living.
They wrote him off.
Yeah. And maybe I would too, but does Pora. Checks it. Nicely done by Pora. There you go, investing as well into this. They want to make sure this retake works out. Patatech now has it all to do, and Heretics deny it again. 4 still standing as well.
Yeah, and that's big, considering, again, the reinvestment from G2. I mean, they've come under fire a couple of times. I've seen comments floating about, the buys on the first map on Ascent, maybe an element of arrogance buying back into that, and it left them on the back foot in that final deciding round. But again, that's the sort of plays that G2 make. They never give up.
It is very much a stylized thing for them.
So weird.
It's mad, isn't it? And the timing on this was excellent for Pora. Very good read of the game. Timing, there's no cues to peak there. It's just that feel of the game, knowing when that hit might come in. Very well positioned. G2 again, investing a little, not everything.
Yeah. But the important thing now, lost bonus comes in. Obviously, they got the spike down again, so just push onto B garage. Again, the same thing, just rehearsed time and time again, and this time chucking a bit of utility at it.
Ooh, Patatek, not given the angle. Pora too aware. Happy to take a fight as well. Quite bold to go into that. We saw what Marshall can do if just put it in the right place at the right time, but these lighter guns aren't finding much footing here. And I like this approach. It's very unique, I feel, from Heretics. They've kind of left mid open, which normally this map is all about kind of taking a pick and then, frustrating those rotations.
Well, it's the same thing on Ascent. They literally gave it up and they held these really passive, deep angles onto it. Obviously thinking of Niso, but hold that thought. Wall comes across here. Rookie dropped down. Pit actually finds a Vova.
Wait, is Lol still in the site?
No.
Lol's given away nothing. Now he has to give it away, though. David P is going to fall for it, as is Artist. Oh, it's fallen apart at the seams. I thought this was the round they might turn it. And now Heretics still have player advantage. Lol is still alive, and Pit is frustrated beyond belief. Spike is down. Lol is your MVP again. This guy doesn't know when to die.
He doesn't. And the thing is that all of these plays into B garage, and even him just picking up 2 or 3 kills along the way every so often, he has that resurrection up every single time. And I mean, we saw it in map 1, how much they're able to make an impact with that ultimate.
Yeah, again, guys, noting, the UI not quite keeping up, but don't worry, it's being worked on. So back into the game, though, we do hopefully see a better purchase for G2 now. They need this buy to work out.
Yes, they needed to work out again, and I'm looking at the remaining credits on this. Again, buying back everything into this, a little bit of a scrappy buy in the previous. Let's see if G2 pulls something out now in round 5.
Okay, G2 back towards A. You do have the lurk towards middle from Ardis, but this is quite a straight hit. This is basically a contact piece. They go on contact. Avova, Lol, or here. That's dangerous. Nuki's going to try and help out, but already Lol's dead and buried. Nuki can't do much now. It might be time to posture for that retake, and feeding in a little there. Mixwell taking a little bit more map control than they'd like. And this is good work from G2. Simple, clean, and it's effective.
Yeah, Mixwell finds another as well. Nuki kind of giving that one up. Niso now creeping, trying to clear David P on hell, but David P is good for the headshot. Last man up. Pora is found. Mixwell 3 on the round, and G2 put their first on the board. Prime gaming flawless from them, Lauren.
Mixwell, look at that focus. I love the fact we've seen so much emotion from the G2 side, and now it's just steel gaze. Is that just sheer focus? And it's time to be focused. You just had a rude awakening that this isn't going to be as easy as expected. And, or at least in their mind, they're one of the most confident teams out there, right? You don't come in thinking you're going to lose or have a hard game. You come in thinking you're the favorites and you're going to do the best you can to make it hurt. However, money. Let's look at where we're at. We've got the first op-out, I do believe, so that should be on Pora here. Interesting, and it's gone. That is a huge pick from Mixwell. That could ignite this round now. Nissan knows it. Patatek's there, instantly forces forward. As is Mixwell, they are flooding the site. They know they've got the entry, they know they've got the plant, and no one can stop them.
Now, the problem being now, again, the resurrection is on the board, but it's so deep on ramps, it's going to be very risky and time-consuming for Heretics to go to this. They're actually pivoting this way. G2 look like they want to try and defend it. They're absolutely aware of the ultimate. The trade comes through. Avova and Patatek, good for 1 apiece. The revive invested here, and still more ultimates on the board for Heretics if they want to go for this.
I want to see if Mixwell gets bold and pushes CT. It looks like he's considering it, but that's beyond the point. Patatek gets timed, and Nuki gets Mixwell. Suddenly the retake is on, and it's down to Artist to try and do the damage. He gets the spray, but Niso gets the kill onto the site. Defuse time, and it's another round for Heretics, but that was much closer.
Really, really good stuff. And I love the fact that, I mean, we talked about Lothar, I know, was kind of alluding to this point where G2 weren't reading that ultimate in that round on Ascend. Right there, you can see they went back to defend the corpse, so they couldn't get that revive. Again, kind of strengthening their position in the post-plant. But again, Showstopper gets invested right after a revive comes up and they see it goes unpunished.
5-1. These rounds are getting close, though. But the scoreline, as much as it may be close in the moment, the score is still 5-1. G2 have not landed as much as they'd like in this. They've been getting spike plants, they've been getting on the sites, but every now and then Heretics plays LOL with that nutty little kind of like sitting in deep, worked out there, and you just had Niso doing the same. You can see a very similar build-up, almost, very telegraphed here, but Pora's taking the fight. A 1-for-1 trade-up with the Lear is good. Revive comes in. G2 are not relenting at this moment. Nisa with a wild spray, hoping to connect, but gets nothing for it. Where is the spike in all of this? It's being held up by Avova. David P has just won the fight of this round for himself.
Again, Avova going for a deep, deep TP behind G2. Now the spike's passed over to Mixwell, going to hop his way through with the blast pack, and now Heretics find themselves in another retake scenario, 3v5 now.
Yeah, I'm just going to look towards what Nisa can do. They know that they've got them pinned at least towards sight. That's going to at least remove vision for a second. Artist just postured forward. I like it. Nookie's good for one, but no more to be seen, no more to be heard. G2 finally land it. They stick the landing on that A take.
And again, all of this B garage control, they're investing 2 people to that. I think G2 are leaning heavily into kind of basing their attack off that. Every single time it's an aggressive swing through A main, up to ramps. They're getting this control for free. And ultimately, when you get it for free is one thing, but Heretics giving away first blood, you can't be doing that if you're going to put that much emphasis on the other side of the map.
We saw this almost stubbornness from G2 on the first map. That rinse and repeat kind of play that kept coming through. And again, there's no nuance to this, but it works. But look at the stack. 4 players are now here for the defending side.
Yeah,
it's a light buy, though.
Not a lot of equipment on the board, and you got to say, Lowell only having 1 slow orb, there's not a lot of utility as well. Nicky, on the other hand, does have a lot of utility. Pat now holding this angle, but Mixwell again opening up the round. David P now on top of his wall. Oh my! Niso opts up, but Mixwell and Ardis will respond with kills of their own.
Yeah, Avova and Lowell, the last 2 alive in this. Avova's been somewhat quiet here, just trying to maybe hope the attention gets drawn elsewhere, but they are looking towards clearing quite methodically. I would make an assumption, a bold one, hopefully. That they clear this. Wait, they didn't clear it initially, but a good trade. Lol. Gets a little interested, but yes, indeed. They've cost them 3 players, which is key.
It is indeed. Yeah. I mean, I was just about to say it would be interesting to see now if they do the same thing and every member of G2 in the pre-round running over towards A again. Obviously, this is a little bit different. Equipment, weaponry, a factor in that previous round.
I casted a couple of other games. There's this great theory I've heard, right? Rush B, no stop. Right now, it's not B. So they've already changed things up. But do you know what? It is a bit different this round. They have got a bit more of a default, and it's probably to catch aggression that might be coming through as a response from the Heretics side. And it would be a measured response too. But for now, David P going to try and take early control this time towards those B halls, which is a very valid place considering we know that Heretics like to put presence there.
Yeah, interesting enough. Nivso back in all the way, yeah, down into vents, and Lowell trying to hold on to the defensive spawn exit. Mixwell has got himself tucked deep, and I don't think Heretics have any idea of exactly where he is. He should find that first one. I can't believe we've not seen that go up on the kill.
He didn't push through yet.
What?
And wait. Ardis won that fight, and Mixwell just got Pora. What has happened to the information this round? I thought they knew that Mixwell was there. How is he allowed to get away with this? And now Heretics, you would be so frustrated, but desperately Lowell is trying to keep this contained. But look at these positions. They're everywhere. They are just among them at the moment. Mixwell laying down further fire, keeping them at arm's length. The spike continues. This is a bad round for Heretics. They left too much available, and somehow still players slip through the net.
Yeah, I mean, Niso must have heard it because he backed all the way into rope. So gifting control over to Mixwell in heaven, I'm talking about specifically. And I mean, it looked like Niso was going to find that kill, but somehow Ardis finds it. Although we'll find this one, but no idea David B is going to be there. Yeah. That's like jump scare moment.
But let's talk map bias, right? Map side bias on this one as well. This is quite a decent attacking half for G2, I want to say. It has been stubborn. It has been one-dimensional to a degree, but they have 4 rounds on the attack. That is not bad by any margin.
No, G2 were very strong against August. Again, I'm pretty sure it was like a 10-2 half or something.
Yeah.
And things crumbled for them on the defense, which again, we can talk history of Split time and time again about what this used to be early on in Valorant. Right now, again, you know, this aggression, if it goes unanswered on a map like Split, and again, it's the emphasis on mid that G2 love to do. And right now, they're pulling it out kind of once every 3 rounds. But it's giving them map control time and time again.
Okay, let's see what the look is this time from G2. Mixwell is getting away with murder, but will he do it again? It looks like Nisau's on the case this time. So potentially playing quite a passive angle, and they do. Patitek and Pit both check on it. That was their take towards the Heaven side and the close player towards A. So they have full A control now. The 3 remaining players for Heretics, nowhere relevant to this. And look at Omen's post-plant position. Patitek is already cutting off one of the approaches. Artis is cutting off the other. They are in full control here.
They've just got all the time in the world to set up for this. No, I mean, the closest rotation is the Vova going through the defense's spawn. There was a dark cover down blocking there, but Mixwell also holding that angle. It looks like he's actually going to go on the hunt. And this is... I mean, it's another push onto A. And Artis, time and time again, he's feeding all of this information repeatedly every single round. The Prime Gaming flawless from G2 here in round 10. Fantastic stuff.
That was some prime crouching there as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, just
like a tactical movement.
You know when your crouch button just gets stuck and you have to.
Yeah, you got to really
tap it out a little bit.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. But we are having a close game between these two, and I do think if you talk bigger picture of this map, having an attacking side like this, there it is.
Happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Hopefully, they can get sent a new keyboard, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But having a good attacking side like this for G2 should get their spirits up. And things do get outside of the traditional, defense is a little bit, easier to play or X, Y, and Z. This changes at this level of play. However, G2 rinse, repeat. They know what has worked, but surely it can't keep working. 3 players now posted here, and you can see the other 2 just waiting to rotate. And here we go. It's game time again. Once again, they breach in towards this. Nice little TP long with a surprise, though. Pit and Patitek full foul. Quick trade back. Artis and Mixwell find it, but keep your eyes on the remaining players. Where is Mixwell? He's going clutch. That's where he is. And now with the spike to hand, he has to get this last 1v1. Poor on the other side. Unharmed thus far. Full HP. Armor looking pretty, but Mixwell, bloodied by the battle, has to wait it out. Poor, no subtlety to movement. Just trying to play the time so perfectly. Using the cam for information. Gets nothing for it. He's got to know he's still on the site. And Pora taking another step, gets the information he wanted. He didn't get the tag, but he knows where he is. Another pre-fire. Pora now on the beak, and he gets it. Mixwell denied, and Pora is sharp as attack today.
So good in those scenarios. Pora has come up clutch for Heretics time and time again. I mean, that's what you need. Again, a scrappy round, but the one criticism up until this point for Heretics was not being flexible, not responding to what the messages that G2 were sending. And right there, again, a flaky hold, but Pora comes up huge in the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, bailed out by one player. I'll highlight it when it works for G2. They'll have a couple of players pop off and get them the round. There was a couple there that certainly happened for Heretics, but hey, that's the name of the game. We take it how we take it. A round is a round. Now, let's look at what's coming out. Mixwell with the op on attack. I want to keep eyes on what he can do with this and where the intentions may lay with it. Again, why not give it a crack? You might have the bank in the right place to bring it out and feel like it can work on the attack. Pora. Ooh, that's a dangerous game. Now, keep in mind they've been conditioned to believe it's probably this A hit time and time again. So I don't blame them being a little lackadaisical towards mid. But look at Artis gaining ground. A horrible surprise. Patitek going to get the first bit of contact. But it's Artis to fall. And now information now fed through.
And that's actually Mixwell stuck deep up here on ramps. Niso finds that one. Will heal up. Obviously, only the light armor invested. Common tactic for Reyna. So far, Heretics drawing blood. 2-4 for G2.
Now G2, where do they get these picks back? They may hold for a second, see if they can punish any aggression. Nothing's being offered up. No one's there. Revive is available, so David P could get someone back up, chooses Mixwell. Okay, back to 4 now. Not too much movement. We still have Raze for Heretics dedicated towards B, but look where the push is heading. They don't know this yet. David P still heading through, but this is a Vova's den. This is his lair. This is where he resides. The timing is atrocious. David P gets a freebie, and up and over we go. Mixwell batters down Niso, and suddenly G2 are back in the helm of this, but there is a player on the site, and it's Lol. He was the savior before for Heretics, and he might need to do it again. He gets down one. He needs more, though. He's going to get more. Doubles down, gets the second, and suddenly David P was called upon to even the scale out, but it's Pora. The man is a machine, and he's looking for the fight again. A classic between these two. Mixwell up against Pora, and Mixwell's got the op at this point. This is mad.
This is tough.
He's just dedicated to an angle. Get me back in game. I don't care about looking at him. Pora now makes the steps towards the site, tries to cover a bit of it, but he's not being subtle. And Mixwell doesn't need to be. What a way to close it down.
A 6-6 game. Wow.
Switching sides.
I mean, that was an impressive response from G2 again. Obviously, after... I mean, I thought things were going to fall apart. Ray's sticking over to B is an important factor. She had the showstopper online. That would have been a fantastic opportunity to punish that revive from David P, should they go to secure that. Again, it's last round. You've got to have that awareness of the ultimates on the enemy team.
Oh, we've got a 6-6 coming in. This couldn't be closer. But again, we have to look at what Heretics look like. We've seen the good Heretics, and we've also seen the quiet Heretics. And what I've seen so far is a gritty G2. A G2 unwilling to relent. However, I now turn my attention to how Heretics approach this. This is their time to set the pace. They're the ones who get to aggress. They're the ones on the attack. They get to define how this goes now.
And the thing is, I mean, I say back in the day. Can we use that term yet? Back in the day? Sure. Back in the day, Split was the map to kind of watch G2 do what they do best, which is taking ground, drawing first blood, converting it time and time again. And, you know, thinking back to the early Battle Sage David P days. Again, Ardis on the Rays back when he did play on this. Let's see what happens here in the pistol round.
Cage triggered.
Where did he just get that pick from? David P just got caught with his pants down in towards middle. That's a horrible place to lose out on that opening pick. Heretics very quiet about this. No steps being made thus far. Pora holding patiently, waiting for a push, and he might just get it. But Mixwell, I feel he's going to check. He does. Mixwell going to get that nicely achieved. Falls away. They've now evened the score.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right there. Peel back. Wait for this push to come through. Important to note, obviously, G2 buying up light armors here. Ardis, as I say that, will lose his. Heretics opting for the ranged pistol. We know can be effective here. Mixwell got to be careful. He pulls out the nade, actually, as soon as he gets contact. That's interesting. Oh, my word. Mixwell finds two, and it's his third on the round. Gets the nade back, throws it out, but doesn't have enough bullets left.
Okay, what do we have left on the board? Lol can get the heal up so he can be back to a decent amount of HP. Niso, where are you? Okay, holding the push through the defensive side. This is still very viable. Oh, it is now. Ardis just drops him. Batman from above.
Ardis.
Nice work from Ardis, keeping control. And getting the first one of the second half on the board for G2.
I love that from Mixwell, though. Again, I thought it was going to be a bit awkward there as soon as he pulled the paint shells out to kind of block off that push. But again, he just wanted to buy himself time. This was a crucial point in this round. Pora almost kept, caught napping, to be honest with you, down at the bottom of ramps.
30 seconds left.
This was fantastic.
This is a close game between these two. And bear in mind, if you're just tuning in, this is for the place in the final. We don't know who's joining them yet. This would be the first team to make it through here over in the European portion, and 7-6. It is good to see a close game between these two, and I'm seeing a heavy lean towards B here.
Yes, indeed. I mean, a couple of pistols on the side of Heretics. The early nade goes out. David P slow orb through. Going to get this sound cue here from walking in to the slow orb as well. Heretics don't seem phased at all by G2 showing this early presence.
Combination between David P and Patitek. Ooh, great damage!
Yeah.
Wow, David P's in trouble, but Patitek bails him out, buys a bit of time.
I mean, the other side, actually, Mixwell, as soon as that contact comes through, he's looking back towards mid. Ardis holding on to ropes now. The rotation going to go all the way through. Avova through sewers, Pit with a huge spy cam above screens. Utility down on site, so he doesn't need to give anything away. You can see now G2 reading into this. They're kind of thinking something's up. It's all 5 members of Heretics coming through here. Pit actually going to go through the first trap wire. Fantastic. He doesn't actually find Pora on the first, but does on the second. Dark cover goes down. Spike probably going to go in here, but G2 already getting this information early. They're here. They're ready for the spike to go down.
Nice positioning from Lowell as well. They're going to keep safe at least for a second. They will get a spike plant. Now, whether or not they can hold this retake is beyond maybe their capability with the weapons, but maybe Nisao can prove me wrong, and so can Nuki. Surely this isn't how you lose this round, G2. You had the weaponry, but look at Patitek. Look at Ardis. They ain't got much to play with. And suddenly... yeah, look at this from above.
Oh, my word.
From above. Heretics just turn it around again.
Fantastic stuff from there. Again, Nuki playing his life as long as that, and then getting the weapon that late in the round when a couple of these players are tagged up. They've taken that chip damage from the pistols. Fantastic stuff from Heretics. I thought G2 had a fantastic read on that. Again, the rotation comes through. They have the presence over in A heaven before the spike even goes down. All of Heretics, all but one, which is Nuki, kind of boxed into sight as well.
I am getting a little nervous for G2 here. This is the pressure. We talked about what could happen when they're under pressure. Do they rise to the occasion or do they crumble? We're going to find out now. Heretics have shown, yeah, we are here this half. This isn't going to be what you just saw. This is going to be a much better performance. G2, we know they're not subtle with their money. They will buy into things. And we do see Sheriffs, we do see SMGs coming out, so it is a purchase back.
Yeah, what have Heretics got left in the tank? Map 3, 7-7. Again with that spy camera on screens. Again, it's just so much early information for him. David P kind of playing this float in heaven. But a heavy stack towards B, you got to say, for G2 here. Artist this time playing backside behind Wood. Patek again playing close contact. Mixwell watching that mid push. Spike now leaning over towards B garage. The other members of Heretics rotating, coming through sewers. So if they don't find anything on the way in here, might get actually Pora might have the timing on this with Niso, who swings out, finds Mixwell. Patek now got to hold the fort for his teammate Ardis on site.
Yeah, they're getting worried. You can see the pings coming out. They know there's something up,
Oh,
but
that's
Ardis
perfect.
is well
That is
equipped.
perfect.
He has good utility, and he has damn good aim to boot as well. Buying the time, 25 seconds. They do not have the time to mess around with this. Pora got the trade, but Patek is there. Look at these off angles they're playing on. They are not getting through. This is a shutdown so far, but maybe there's still something to be said. Ardis is saying no. He is saying a very loud no. He is holding on to this single-handedly, but he still has to win this fight. Pora's low, but Ardis is just better.
Ardis going absolutely huge. The 4-piece from backside. Patek putting in absolute work there. I mean, basically enabling Ardis for that after he finds the first kill with that fault line. Again, you walk into B lane like that, the fault line, the perfect piece of utility to slow that down.
You could not ask for a better player to be in a better place. That was exactly what Ardis wanted. And I do want to highlight the support that came in from the other players. It wasn't just the Ardis show. You saw those angles being provided. You saw the damage being done. The utility.
Pat with the dark cover as well.
Exactly. Everything being thrown down to support and supplement him. That is what you want in a teammate. And we do have an 8-7 scoreline now. But the money is in such a weird spot.
Is indeed in a bit of a weird spot. I mean, they're going blow for blow, Lauren.
Okay, just to give you guys a heads up, it is a tactical pause for G2 here. This is something we do not get out of these guys often. This is something we're talking about, you know, we have a joke about it backstage and, you know, they just don't call them. It's not something we know them for. This is different. This tournament means a lot more than all the others. This is the way to keep yourself in that front-running position that a lot of people put with G2.
You have no idea how much I want to see the player cams during the tactical pauses, just to gauge the mood, just to gauge the emotions.
I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon. Let's see how this round goes down. 8-7, of course, being the scoreline. Map 3 here in the semifinals. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a belter of a game, but I assure you there's more to come. Ardis, very mobile in positioning, this time dedicated towards A, but it looks like a very all-in piece coming from the attacking squad. And it seems like he's felt that out as well, buying so much time here.
Yeah, nothing actually comes through there. Pit eventually finds Nuki. I'm not sure if Ardis didn't have line of sight on what was coming through here, but G2 already pushing up to try and retake control of ramps here. Niso got to be careful, caught just on the edge of the slow orb. Mixwell foaming at the mouth on top of the box. Pora finds Pit in heaven. Actually looking like Heretics might be able to get in, but a spike caught out in the open. Lower will fall. Dark cover comes down. Ardis looking to re-aggress with the fault line. Mixwell got a swing from main.
His flank could be everything. Niso's on it though, and Niso wins it. Uh-oh, trouble afoot for G2 here. How do they get back in? Ardis just delivered them a bit of a mercy from up top.
Oh, no.
But now David P trying to step by step get closer. Niso wants this, he doesn't get it. David P takes him down. A quick little switch up as surely you don't see this being clutched out. I'm looking at that omen. Ovopa's got a dirty little off angle to watch. If they all come through heaven, there could be trouble. Pora's going to be on the side. He has to win his fight, though. He cannot leave this to just his teammate for now. He's buying time. He's doing so well, but the wall goes up. Is it broken? Yes. Avova now on the timing. Diffuse halfway through. He gets one, but it's not good enough. Nice retake from David P.
Yes, but David P fired his judge there. Niso still opted to play close contact on that wall. Really interesting decision there. I mean, again, hindsight 2020, fine. This is the situation I'm talking about here. I'm pretty sure David P lets off the first judge. You can see the bullet holes in the wall there. Niso, I got a feeling, coming back to hell there. Maybe he's got some more support from Pora on site. And, I mean, Avova drifting a little bit into screens, leaving himself, I mean, falling victim to the utility from David P.
Okay. 9-7 now. G2 starting to wind things up here. Double digits beginning to loom. If they get one more, they'll be looking pretty solid in this one. Heretics need to make a response pretty soon. We have seen great moments, but they've been matched, if not bested, by G2. But the money's still not perfect. It's still in a precarious spot. And Heretics, you can see, working a little lighter. Poorer hit is just on the Ghost, so going to have to be a little bit careful with how they approach, at least firepower-wise, and a lot quieter approach this time. Not as loud, not as bold or abrasive, but they know what's coming their way, but the 2 rotations from B have not been pulled. Wait, Pit's gone down. Suddenly Heaven's looking vulnerable. David P feels very isolated on site, and there's too many angles to worry about. Yeah, wall it up. Give yourself one angle to play with, but let's look at the attack inside. Where's that Cypher heading off to? Pora's opening up a chance. It's going to be Artist on the other side to meet them. Let's see what Artist has, though. This angle is filthy, but Pora gives him the backhand, bounces through. Patitek next on the chopping block, gives it away early. They look manic in this round, G2. They want back in, but for now, it's Heretics taking the site.
Well, that's it. David P finding it with a random. Pat finds one. Mixwell with a third. Look at this. G2 looking to get so aggressive early. As soon as the spike goes down, now finds himself in a 3v2 retake.
Oh, Avova, though, isolates the one. Gets the second. He's done so well. But now, lol, he's played this perfectly. But Patitek up above, he's being an absolute nuisance, a true pest. But Heretics digging their heels into this matchup.
G2... That was the hottest attempt to stop the spike going down from Patitek. Neurosef comes through. He's like, yeah, ping me, fine. I'm still going to swing on you. Doesn't find anything, but David P, Mixwell, and Patitek finding kills in quick succession. Looked like G2 were just going to brute force their way into that. I mean, look at this. The dark cover goes down. Mixwell swinging out. I love the tenacity from them.
Yeah, this is them fighting with everything they have. This is, you know, everyone say, oh, maybe G2 are holding back strats for the finals. No, this is G2 going through everything. 9-8, desperate for that place in the final. Who knows who they'd face, but this is an incredible semi-final. And now the money once again in a bad spot for G2 here. We have lighter weapons, but some to supplement. Mixwell, a decent purchase, but Heretics far better established.
Yeah, I mean, decent weapon for Mixwell. He's got his nade. Utility elsewhere. Not looking the best. Avova actually going to TP to backside. David P somehow gets away with his life there, but he's going to wall off the rest of Heretics into B garage, and that kind of isolates Avova now. The response wall comes through. Heretics looking to flood onto the site. Swings out.
Good
2-for-1 trades. Nuki finds 2. Patitek responds.
Where's the spike? Look at the spike.
Oh my god, it's going to A.
They've absolutely done them. They have absolutely nutmegged them on this. Look at this. Pora can take so much space. Yeah, okay, you know where I am now, but hey, spike's on the site. They have thrown them through a loop, and retaking with these weapons is going to be brutal for G2.
Sheriff, Judge, Spectre. The worst thing is, Heretics have got so much time to set up for this post plant, and a couple of other drifting players. I'm looking over to ramp now. Nuki finds his third. Ardis will fall. Niso and Pora on site now. Gonna have a really good read if Pit and Pat opt to go for this, but they're going to drift back over into the defensive spawn. Going to try and save these weapons, I guess.
Maybe they could grab a couple. I think Mixwell had a rifle, if I'm not mistaken.
A Vandal, correct.
Yeah, so maybe they can recover those. But at this point, Heretics showing great ability to make mid-round calls in such a hard position. And yeah, we called it. It looks like they've gone back to recover those rifles.
Can tie game 9-9, Lauren. We've been absolutely blessed to get. It's our third map, and they both go in the distance. Dare I say the word that rhymes with Schmoverschmeim?
Don't tease me with these ideas, all right? I'm already happy enough.
Can't jinx it and say it.
True. 9-9, though, it is tied up in this matchup. I said I wanted to see more from Heretics, and, well, I guess they've gone, all right, fair enough. Into this one, though, I want to see what the buy's looking like for G2, because they tried to keep those rifles in, which they did manage, but to support, if not complement that, they're not going to get much. So maybe a quirkier piece to come out here would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting G2 to maybe put Pit and Pat. I love saying that, by the way. I'm going to keep doing that. Put both of them in kind of an anchor position and kind of just enable, you know, David, Mixwell, and Artist to at least play the trade on it or bait somebody into a spot where they can convert these pistols. Heretics got to show some discipline here. Don't give anything away on this round in particular.
And see that composure maintained. G2 are masters of mayhem. They will get under your skin. But for now, they will be working with far less. Pit does have the rifle. Patitek also. David P Showing off, hey, look, I've got a sheriff. Don't worry, come over here.
That's the bait I was talking about. Fire the sheriff, hope someone will push in. There is, I mean, there's armors across the board. 4 light armors, Pit on full armor. So, it's. I mean, this is doable. Again, if they can play around it, Mixwell hovering inside. He's got the shorty. Heretics. Again, you can see Lowell just absolutely fixated on that.
So aware of the possibility, and look at the 2 at the bottom of mid. If Mixwell gets 2 and the barrel's going to show. Okay, mid's now looking a little bit vulnerable, and they know it's just a shorty, so they may fall foul to their rifles. We've seen Pit find 1. Information now being plentiful. Pit is going to take charge. 2 massive kills, but they've turned attention with that spike heading right towards B.
Left.
The 3 remainders for Heretics will get the spike down, but we've got to see this post plant.
Actually, I mean, 2 players still very, very far away from this. David P coming through, and actually, Revive gets invested. Pat back on his feet now. 4v3 retake for G2, but the post plant looks solid from Heretics here.
Okay. They're going to commit. Patatek goes in, offers himself up for information. He sees it, but what else is there to be done? They are getting nothing given. Yeah, Patatek is late. He does get the rifle back beside him. They've got to go on. This Pit is now dead. Time is starting to run out. There is a time incentive, and nothing's working. Nisao is holding the line. He will not let G2 pass. He adjusts towards defense side. He's going to wrap Heaven. He's going to do him dirty. Keep your eyes on this man. If it's not his teammates doing it early. Patatek, run for your life. I don't know if you're going to make it out here. They are hunting him down, but he does just about make it away. But it's double digits for Heretics. Does he get him?
Oh, he must have heard him there.
You saw it. You saw him getting close.
He was walking, creeping, didn't want to give away the audio cue to Pat. But again, nice round from Heretics. I mean, giving away the first 2, David P invests the revive. I thought there was a chance there, but the retake from G2, I don't want to say it came in too slow, but I mean, first contact on the retake came with, what, 20 seconds left on the clock about?
Yeah, they weren't given anything. I mean, now with double digits facing off against G2, they do have the purchase back here. And for the sake of their money, they need a clean round this time. Otherwise, I feel it's going to be those shaky buys going forward. Oh, mid-aggression, hold on. Mixwell's going for a walk down mid. Avova seems to be aware of the possibility. He has support from 2 other players. There's 3 of them looking towards mid, 3 about to play into it.
God.
This could be a downright straight massacre. Nuki's found David P, but they don't know about Mixwell. He's the unknown quantity. The flash comes in. That is so well positioned. Mixwell, he's double downing. He's going back in! Mixwell is making it hurt. There's the paint to follow. He doesn't get a tag off it, but he takes territory away from them. Instantly, Artis is over towards A. He knows what this is happening, but Pit is on the site, and he just needs to wait patiently for his moment to strike. Timing is everything. He takes down Pora. He turns for the second. He gets Nisao, and Avova is dead in the water. G2 kept it clean and made it look good.
That was absolutely fantastic. Again, David P giving the kill away. It's almost like, yeah, take this one. Take this one. Artis straight away responds with that flash. Mixwell swings, finds all he wants and more in mid.
Okay, they've kept themselves. The win condition there in my mind for this kind of build back from G2 was keeping a clean round. And to get so bold to face this in middle was nuts. Very well played, very well considered. Heretics had not seen that look from them just yet.
I mean, the second flash as well into Suez is perfect. Mixwell was actually very unfortunate not to catch the third there, but right back into it. 10-10. Heavy lean over towards A from Heretics here. Everything on the line in terms of economy.
Right there.
It's 3 strong from G2 on defense too.
Yeah, they've got this. They've got the read right. David P knows that there's players there. They don't have anyone in heaven though.
Nobody crossing. Heretics peeling away from this. Maybe here, and obviously the fault line comes through early in the round. As soon as the Sage utility is invested on A main there, that gives Heretics information. They know obviously Artis and David P are outside, but
I'm pretty sure Pit just got the information. No one was still by A, so you can see the rotation.
Yes.
They're going to have the player there early. David P is in the right place at the right time. Here we go. It's game on. G2, get ready. Here comes the flood. And G2 hold it. Heretics thought they had the advantage.
Oh my God.
And it's just destroyed. Incredible read from G2. Perfect placement. And Nisao and Pora are baffled. They've got A control, but how does Nisao get there?
I mean, he needs to be moving because Pora's all the way in screens here. If they want any chance at recovering this, Artis tucked all the way into the defensive spawn now. Again.
Wait. If we... Pit's found Nisao. Okay, well, that's the spike down in middle.
That's the spike down in middle. So now, G2 do regain control around. There was a moment there. Again, Niso, if
10
he
seconds
didn't
left.
drift all the way through mid,
Yeah.
there was a chance that Pora and Niso able to regroup, maybe get the spike down. But again, it's in a 2v5 situation.
Yeah. We're looking at the thinnest of margins, but if maybe he had opted to go the long way around, I don't know if he had time to do it. It could have maybe had some potential to it. But 11 to 10, this is now coming down to the wire. I want to keep eyes on the money because economy is going to hinder this. This is going to start getting dicey. I want to highlight whoever called that rotation, be it Pitt, seeing that the cam was free, no one was there. That was your MVP moment.
Well, we were talking about how active G2 were on bind on defense with those rotations. That's the sort of thing. It's the flip side of that situation. Absolutely pays off for them there. Looking over it, I mean, ultimates-wise, Heretics, again, nothing in the bank except for the Empress. On the side of G2, they do have the Rolling Thunder, which we know how crucial that ultimate can be in some scenarios. Talking post-plant, denying the spike going down and whatnot.
Okay. Back in we go. Another go of things. Nuki not being quiet here. At least for now, showing a great deal of presence. Maybe trying to pull that rotation. It looks like they're trying to catch a rotation in middle. Heretics looking to see if anyone's going to go walking through. For now, it's Mixwell waiting towards that mailroom side. He's going to tuck himself in. See if anyone dares walk through that smoke. No one is, but it is going to be down towards ropes. David P's already under this. That's enough. That is enough of a pixel. But I've overfound him. David P's dead. The trade, Pitt can't capitalize well enough, but Mixwell can. He finds Pora, and suddenly G2 holds strong enough for now. Where is the spike? Look at this misread. Look at this fake. Oh, they've just worked it out. They just worked it out then. They've just come back through down towards B. Patitek is here, and Mixwell is not far away either.
Right, so it's a 2v2 over on B side. A lot of pressure now lies on Lowell. Mixwell actually finds that one. Nuki strolling his way into the defensive spawn. Now Lowell has to react. He has to come and bail his teammate out. Niso pops the Empress, finds the headshot onto Niso. Mixwell still lurking in the defensive spawn side. Lowell actually might get caught out from Ardis. He's so aware of this flank. 20 seconds left on the clock now.
There are two 1v1s happening right now. So keep your mind on which one it is. Mixwell up against Niso, Ardis up against Lowell. Whoever wins each fight obviously is a huge game changer. And here we go. Timing! Oh! The timing is atrocious between both of them. Where is Mixwell in this? Get me Mixwell's POV here. Spike is down, but they don't know where he is. But they've got two players up in middle. Mixwell is going to have to go above and beyond. Otherwise, this is going back to 11-11 now. I don't think he can isolate a player. They've peeled away. They played safe on this. He gets one, and he gets it quite clean. 49 HP. He needs more. Oh, he doesn't get more that time. Pora back on his feet, back from the dead. 11-11 now.
Oh my word. One thing I want to highlight there, we were talking about was going to come down to a 2v2 on B site, and Lowell being stuck in that position, again lurking. Nuki drifting all the way into the defensive spawn. That's the moment that turned this of over finding that kill onto David P. But I just want to say Mixwell, down to about 40 HP, he doesn't bite. 3 times Niso tries to bait him out with that spike plant, or to kind of bait out that rotation from Ardis. So much discipline shown on both sides in that round.
Yeah, both of these teams are incredibly turning up here. This is, a higher caliber. Pitt with the off. Hold on, where is he taking that?
What?
That is not something I expected to be seeing.
Threading the needle over there from Heaven.
Okay, I guess that does alleviate pressure, allows Ardis to rotate quicker if needed, maybe feeling mid and B is getting too much attention now.
I mean, as well, the spy cam as well has gone up over, you can see it on the mini-map. That's covering down over towards Rambatzi. In response, Pora just tucked inside his spy cam all the way back in the spawn. But Nuki wandering again. He's got to be careful. He's actually going to find one pack. Good for the trade.
I'm amazed he got Mixwell.
Yeah, I'm amazed he even got one from there. David P now on the steps. The paranoia comes through. It doesn't actually blind him, but Niso will fall.
Okay, I'm keeping my eyes on that spike. That, to me, is still critical in this and pretty key to where they try and close this down to. This will be match point starting to build. Keep in mind, 12 is the goal. Lol, Avova, and Pora still trying to find an opportunity, but nothing being offered up for free this time.
G2 holding strong again. Both sides playing quite deep. Pat all the way back in the spawn. David P holding onto that stairs position. Dark cover comes down over lane, but nobody going to stop this push out again unless David P opts to swing on this, and 3 strong of Heretics are going to go inside. They're going to opt to play retake here. Look at them.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea at this point. They can play it out in this fashion. Maybe safer to get Artis
10
over.
seconds left.
Wall is up, and now the post plant begins. We do have the adjustment coming out from Avova. Gets himself up. We're going to see the ultimates being popped. Everything going to be thrown into this retake. Avova, though, dirty little off angle. Wait, they still trade it. Artis does get Avova. We're down to Lol and Pora here. And they're standing. Oh, they've only gone and done it. 12 rounds on the board for Heretics in a scenario that was never meant to go their
Match
way.
point.
The Rolling Thunder comes through. They follow up with it on the flash as well. Look at the smile on the face of Pora. They've stolen that one away from G2. The best possible ultimate with all players boxed into sight there. And unfortunately, G2 couldn't close the gap to convert off it. The lineup there, they line up for Lowell. That was massive. Look at what it means to him.
This means
They're
the
so
world.
close.
They are 1 round away from getting to the grand finals here. I cannot believe this. I thought that first map was great, but look at the money as well.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is everything. How bad do you want this, G2? This is your moment to answer back because Heretics have just broken your back in this game.
Economy's busted. Nothing in the tank for ultimates as well for G2. Again, Avova, he's got his online. Pora's got the neural theft. We'll have to take a look if Lowell or Nuki possibly have something left in. I've only seen one Empress out of Niso so far. He could be not far off as well, but it all comes down to this now.
1 minute and 39 seconds. Is it OT or is it Heretics to the finals? Bold play towards those B halls from David P to start with. But the intentions coming out from Heretics look patient. That spike is at the back by A. They're not showing too much. And there's a roaming pack of 3 players for G2 now poised around top mid.
And this is what we saw Heretics do very well on Ascent. Just sit back, wait for G2 to give something away, whether it be utility, whether it be a push out, somebody looking for a kill, and they're set up to punish that. Playing this one slow, already down, 60 seconds left coming up. The spike over towards A main, now making its way into Suez. Pora still, it's been a nuisance, gathering that information for Heretics. It looks like they might try and walk through mid again. Nuki, a couple of times now he's able to wander out onto B site. This time Artis playing from the rafters. He's going to swing. The tag comes through. Artis actually going out worse off on that one. It looks like it might actually be... Okay, Pit finds Pora. That's the lurk over.
It's pulled rotations.
It has indeed, yeah. Pat's looking like he's going that way, but oh my God, they're going to explode.
Artis, the timing. They're going to go right now. The Leah's out. They fly in. Nuki is there. Finds Artis, but there's more. Patchtech still holds the line. How ready are you for this? You're not. The spike's going to go down. David P. He's the enemy. How is he in here? How have they not spotted him? He's still got Lowell. And now he waits for just that.
God.
Nuki takes him down. Mixwell and Pit. The last 2 standing bastions of hope for G2. Trying to play it back in. Heretics have 3 alive.
The post-plant positions are so good as well. Look at it. 1 tuck behind default, 1 backside. Nuki holding on to lane now. G2 have to go fast. Not a lot of utility. Nuki finds his 4th on the round now. Pit down in heaven. The ace from Nuki closes this out. G2 eliminated here by Heretics.
Heretics are the King Killers, the Titan Slayers. They make it through to the grand finals. Liquid was the first to fall to them. And if you told me G2 would be next on that chopping block, I'd have said you were a liar, but they have proven how much that meant to them. That grand final is theirs, and they need an opponent now who is willing to stand up to them. G2 at a loss for words.
Y tenemos el primer finalista de Europa, del First Strike Europa, Team Heretics. Impensado, todos pensábamos, incluido yo, que iba a ser un trámite para G2, pero Team Heretics nuevamente demostrando que son un gran equipo, así que nada, tenemos el primer finalista de Europa. A continuación viene el partido de la segunda semifinal, FPX contra Sam FC. No lo voy a transmitir, así que si quieren verlo pueden entrar a Twitch, First Strike, y lo pueden ver. Y desde las 7 de la tarde están las semifinales del First Strike de Norteamérica, ¿verdad? Donde se enfrenta Sentinels contra TSM. No, mentira. No se enfrenta Sentinels contra TSM. Se enfrenta TSM contra Fase, si no me equivoco. Estoy un poquito perdido con el tema de los malditos eventos. Es TSM contra Team Envy y Sentinels contra 100 ladrones. Así que desde las 7, semifinales de Norteamérica, de First Strike. Y de acá, Europa, Team Heretics entonces, primer finalista. La gran final es mañana a las 6 de la tarde. Así que eso pues, son 3 horas de transmisión, me duele la cabeza. Así que eso va a ser todo por hoy. Nos veremos mañana, quizá más tarde jugando, no lo sé. Así que eso, gracias a los que estuvieron pendientes de la transmisión, los que estuvieron viendo, a los que mandaron saludos, gracias. Así que nos vemos más rato o mañana en una nueva transmisión. Peace out, que estén bien, chao chao.